trip. Hit her with the hammer time, too legit to quit. Keep bouncing, girl, keep bouncing. Keep bouncing, girl, keep bouncing. Keep bouncing, girl, keep bouncing. Keep bouncing, keep bouncing. Jump, 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 jump. The Mac Daddy make it hard. Jump, 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 jump. The Mac Daddy make it hard. 88 bunny, 88 bunny, 88 bunny, 88 bunny, 88 bunny, 88 bunny. I make the bounce on the
So, what is the issue with Diddy?
It's too much, bro.
Well,
it's been too much.
It's not that. I don't know.
It's too much, bro.
Is everyone's coming out the woodwork?
But even before that, Big died. Shine went to jail.
Oh, the reputation.
Yeah.
So it's multifaceted. The problem that we got with Puff.
It goes back, bro.
So
you gotta take off.
Shady character. He's a shady character.
Okay. I just wanted to ask because I hear different shit from different people when we talk about this.
That's my opinion, my perspective on it. In a whole, in general, it's a shady aura, just bad shit.
My issue with him being that I have friends that make music and shit like that.
Wait, you blowing up? I'll put it like this so it won't hit you. All right.
Go ahead. I can't respect all of the things that have been said about him in terms of business dealings.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, Puff has effectively been accused of doing shit to be like the real. Puff has effectively been what Suge Knight was appearing up to us.
That's what I said at one point.
Yeah, but more in a shiesty way, because Puff was getting over it. He did, what's his name? He did Making the Band bad.
Right.
That nigga made super millions off that. Was giving them niggas.
But that was just talking about the music.
That was just a TV
real life shit.
That was a TV situation.
Puff in the streets.
He had backing. He had niggas to back him.
But Puff wasn't really Puff. Pause wiggled his way around the right niggas in the streets. Puff type of nigga need protection in the streets.
Puff had enough money for that protection.
He didn't have enough though.
What?
He didn't.
Maybe you're thinking at a certain time.
All right, so we're talking about.
All right, you want to go into that? You already
he died.
But you know why that happened.
Because I feel like Puff
first of all,
shady.
No. First of all, you know why that happened. You know that. You know why that happened
because back to Puff.
Yeah, because
he around Puff. Why the fuck is this nigga always in some shit? Cassie gets her ass kicked. That shit comes out. If that shit didn't come out, we might still be holding on the string.
That video?
But that video,
that video did it.
Doing bad.
That video did it.
In a hotel, wilding.
That video did it. So without that video,
that's our proof.
You got more people.
That's our proof.
You got more people just rocking with him because of that.
Yeah.
Hey, I guess so.
The shit with the freak offs is not necessarily my qualm. I think it's like from a moral aspect, people are like always got something to say. Yeah. But for consenting ass adults, if y'all went to go knowingly involving yourselves in that shit,
right, that was your choice.
Now, if people were being forced into those situations,
that's bad.
That's when it gets nasty.
Right.
Puff has been accused of blowing niggas' cars up.
That's crazy.
Puff has been accused of dangling niggas off of
Wait, balconies. Did he do that or have somebody do that?
It don't matter. It don't matter. You would still go to jail as an accessory, whether or not you pulled the trigger or you hired somebody to do the shit.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or you know something about it and didn't come forth with that information. Like, the fact of the matter is he is effectively been accused for like the last 30 years, bro, of doing some of the wildest shit from a business standpoint, sexually. And then, like, to the people around him also in order to, like, help them advance their careers. Like, they had to do some weird sexual shit.
Or not. So I feel like some niggas got away. He wasn't like that towards everybody. He kind of knew who to try.
But that's what all bullies do. They know
that part.
Who to point out and go again. You know that.
They not even gonna try to.
There's certain people that you know
whoop their ass.
that won't step to you, but step to maybe somebody else you know, and then vice versa.
Mhm.
Like you know that.
Yeah, but I'm not jacking that. That's corny.
That's why when certain people came to me,
corny shit,
bro.
I know,
bro. That's why when certain people came to me like that, I was like, nigga, you ain't even like that, so don't come to me like that.
I heard some shit one time, bro. I don't know where I heard it, and I ain't even gonna pretend to like try to quote it. But it was to the effect that, bro, we are expecting honorable shit from dishonorable people.
Yeah.
Not saying Puff is him, but
I know
like,
what you mean. Just generally,
period.
Just
you know
generally.
what I'm saying? Like, and until like that metric is raised or shifted or like pushed a little bit forward, bro, we still gonna accept sucker shit, bro. That's why niggas like Tekashi.
He just came out. He just got two new videos. But Academics just went and
I just say
interviewed him
Tekashi,
again.
but niggas have been Tekashi for 20 years before Tekashi was even born.
The difference is Tekashi is like relishing in it.
Nah, he's Grand Slam.
But he's relishing in it.
Shit. Like that was.
He don't care.
Publicized in the most craziest way.
I personally think he's the only one that we saw on a public front.
True.
Because again, like when I learned about like invisible paperwork, bro. Like niggas be like, nah, ain't no paperwork on me, but they still cooperate. And I was like, oh shit. Like niggas are smart, bro. Like they know how to, they get into some shit, but they'll get or figure out a way to cooperate with the authorities without being on actual paperwork, bro.
Yeah, it'd be sealed documents.
Yo, bro, this shit is so tricky out here.
It says, actor Terrence Howard explains what happened to Justin Bieber and at Diddy's. Let me see. Yeah, he's going in about the whole Diddy thing. He said that Diddy invited him to his spot so he could learn some acting, quote unquote, chops, and just stared at him and continued to stare at him. And then he was like, so what do you want to do? And he kept asking him that to his assistant. Terrence's assistant was like, yo, I think he want to, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's what he told him. So it's like, yo, why you got a grown ass man? You just looking at him. And where do we go from here? Like, you're not doing anything. He's just sizing them up. And then you also got this not new information, but you know what I mean? Of course, Gene's been on a run and he's been talking about Kirk. And I've had somebody that knows
Kirk Frost?
No, Burroughs, the president of Bad Boy. Oh. And how they were supposed to back in the day had a quote unquote relationship with Diddy. And now he's suing Diddy because he said that Diddy had him do a whole types of, you know what I mean, shit like that. Damn. So it's getting really, really.
And see, I think that's the whole thing too, though. If it was one person or two accusations of like some wild shit, then we might have been like, all right. But to your point, we already are suspicious of the fact as to why Pac died and him being involved in it. And a retaliation of that is why Big ultimately got hit.
We know. Well, it is. I gotta say, there's a lot of evidence.
There's so many theories to that, bro.
It's mad evidence.
It's like everything wrapped in one. You know what I'm saying?
And the fact of the matter is that he's like right there.
This is what I'm saying.
Out of every theory, he's like right there, bro.
Right.
And like,
what you know about that? What you got to do with that shit?
What you got to know about, and also too, like the streets be whatever. We ain't talking about that.
Suge Knight said it. He said you
started it.
He said,
I did, but you know what I'm saying. Knowing how deep that shit can go, like first of all, in many instances, I feel like I'm still unqualified to speak on certain street.
No, but that makes
you can still have your opinion.
Yeah,
but he feels like
everybody things that don't need to be talked about, you don't talk about.
For sure,
I'm saying,
like
right, I get that, but we talking about Puffy and Big and Pac shit, nigga. So
right.
That's like
right,
public
show.
It's public. Everybody's gonna have their own opinion about it. They've been having an opinion. Vlad made a whole career off of it. Like
Suge Knight said, if you solve one, you solve them both.
Yeah, but the thing about Suge Knight is
that's what I'm saying.
The thing about Suge Knight is, bro,
like you the same nigga that we got on camera running the nigga with the over with the truck, and you was like, I ain't do it.
No, not even that.
That was his own man.
But not even that. When have you known Suge to really say something that you could honestly believe? Ever. Since like he had the red suit on. When he always was playing into the character of being Suge.
I'm gonna be real, bro.
The funny thing is,
some shit you say makes
the
sense.
funny thing is, I didn't know that the whole Big U shit. I didn't know that Debo was based off of Big U.
Yeah,
And I didn't know that how Big U was probably like one of the most notorious motherfuckers out there, and Shook kind of was co-playing that.
You want to hear my unpopular opinion about that shit?
That's why I have you here, man.
Some bullshit.
Yo, you know what it is? It's the unstoppable, uncomparable, almighty like the goddamn Avengers AWP Attention Horse podcast. We at it again, you know what I mean? Starting off all crazy and all types of shit. You know what I mean? I got my co-host with the most, always rolling up, always smoking that dope 103.
Dope man.
Yeah, you know what it is. And I got coming with a term for you, Mr. Hughes.
He is I was
working on it.
He is I and I am him. Bro.
He is I and I am him. You know what I mean? You know, the master of the You Think podcast without an eye.
Yes, sir. Without an eye, bro.
Without an eye, you know what I mean? I and all that shit. He has returned. You know what I mean? And we just coming here. We have a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things in the news. You know what I mean? The guests couldn't make it. I have some thoughts on that, but it's all right. You know what I mean? Right? It's all right. That's how it plays in it. But we were just talking about the whole Puff Daddy situation, Terrence Howard situation. We're going to get into the whole Carmelo Anthony, not the basketball player, but the kid from Texas, his situation. You know what I mean? I've been going back and forth with people online about that shit. I really think that this is going to be a very important issue as far as race relations, even though the father claims it's not a racial situation. You know what I mean? But how you guys doing, man?
Great.
I'm thankful, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful.
Happy to be here every day.
Yes, sir.
That's what it is. That's what it is, man.
Yeah, but that Big U shit, all of that shit is bully shit, bro.
Yeah.
That shit is real bully ass behavior, bro. And
he said, I don't steal nothing. I take it though.
You know what's crazy?
That's how a lot of the Crips was. That's how they formed. They were aggressive. They were like that.
Well, it was mostly
in Cali.
Are they the bigger?
Yeah, they're the masses. So they started first. So did
from I don't know all the history. Did the Bloods come from that, or they came from another?
Yeah, it came from opposing them. The opposite color. You know what I'm saying?
Homies really came from being on the island.
In New York,
yeah.
Well, that's how New York thing, because the Latin Kings was getting against all the black dudes. So.
Yeah, but to his point, that shit came from opposition, bro. Like niggas ain't like what them niggas was doing, and more of them was in agreement, so they formed they shit too. And niggas got tired of like niggas just taking shit from niggas, bro. Like leading back to the conversation when Beloved was here, like the idea of
which Beloved?
Andre.
Okay, I got him.
The idea of that black gold, I'm here for it. I invest in it. I believe in that shit. However, I think about the niggas that I know already that prey on our community, that prey on our people, that prey on our innocent, that prey on our babies, and prey on our elderly.
Yeah,
nigga, you are a cancer.
I understand. I understood both parts of where you were going. You know what I mean?
Niggas is cancers, bro.
So what you gonna do?
It's not what I can do.
But that's the issue with black people as the monolith. Is that correct?
I guess
we have an issue getting along with each other. We have a big issue just getting along with each other. Every other culture seems not to have an issue with getting along with each other. We don't
know that though.
No,
I think it's in every culture.
That's true.
All right, cool. It's not showcased. It's not showcased like we are showcased.
Not, but we showcase ourselves though.
Because we are looking for any type of like, hey, look at me. You know what I mean?
So we got to. You got to.
To answer your question, you was like, so what can we do, right? I'm currently like, I say it all the time that I'm on like this journey in life, bro, like trying to understand who the fuck I am and what makes me tick, what makes me sad and shit like that. All of that shit falls under doing the internal and necessary works, bro. The only way that we change the way we behave is if we change the way we think. The only way we change the way we think is if we adopt different behaviors than we've already done.
Okay.
We have been approaching some of the same problems, even how we get money. A lot of us thought the first thing that we needed to do was go outside and go get a pack.
That's a fact.
Instead of being like, yo, if I'm gonna go sacrifice 5 years, let me go become a plumber.
You know what it is, I think? Because someone was saying, like, I think it was like Kid Capri, and he was talking about his history. He was on Backfuel, and he was talking about how motherfuckers was making money back then, and how if they knew, they would have bought one of them. You know, they could have bought those buildings for like $1 or something.
That's a fact.
But you know what it is? Black people, and certain black people, I would say, we don't think there's a future. We don't see past that next day or that day.
If we had guidance, it'd be different though. We had no guidance. We had no direction. Nobody was telling us, yo, we need to do this. We need to do that. It's not like our parents was doing it and it's tradition.
Parents was just going along.
Wealth. We didn't come up.
Parents was just going along with whatever they.
Niggas was just working, getting a little career, doing something, and that was that. You wasn't really thinking out the box.
And like that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, for somebody like myself, excuse me.
No.
For somebody like myself that comes from where I come from, the idea of success is it's a stereotypical dream, because most black boys from urban areas think they only way out is either entertainment or trapping their way out. You know, that shit falls under entertainment. They think like that's their only ways to get out. Like, if more of us were, and I hate to sound like a fucking recycled.
But did we talk about this before when we was like, bro, it was a time limit where it was like, all right, all these athletes came into play at the end of the 50s. I was watching this documentary on Wilt Chamberlain. I never knew about Wilt Chamberlain. I didn't know he was one of the first to do a lot of shit. He was that motherfucker back then. He was that dude. Before him, it was only 3 other black players before him in the league.
Wilt, OG Bill. We can't forget about OG Bill.
Oh, you mean Russell?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but that was his. They were cool at some point, and then they fell out. But they were cool at first.
Same time.
Yeah. Yo, Bill made but Bill didn't try to be a so-called. He didn't try to. He played team ball, and Wilt had to learn. Wilt used to be the dude. They used to give him the ball. Like, yo,
I call Bill OG Bill for his civil rights works.
Okay.
I call Bill OG Bill for his stance and his belief on the greatness that we possess, but there's still like works for us to do, bro. Like, just doubling back on Brody's conversation, man. Like, I love us. I want us to be as great as we are. But I'm literally talking to my man, a brother today, about, blows my mind. We were having this conversation earlier, but we talking about black people and the ability to be racist. And I'm like, we can't be racist.
Thank you. We you know why? And I could tell you real quick, but I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But I know you're gonna go. In order to be racist, like when people say, "Oh, he said something racist," I'm like, really? Does that mean shit today? Because back in the day, racism was more tangible than it is now.
Right.
Like,
that's a big fact.
Like, here and there, you'll hear someone get lynched. You'll hear the white boys do some shit, or someone does something to get somebody fired, right? But they was getting hosed down, tagged by dogs, ran over, all that shit, right? In order to be racist, you have to have oppression behind that racism.
There has to be, correct.
Right? And I think certain other cultures can be racist and have that oppression behind it. And we can't. We could be prejudiced.
Correct. And I was just actually about to say that while I don't believe that we can be racist, I do believe that some of us are prejudiced as fuck for whatever reason.
I mean, I think in just a human aspect of how humans are, anything we don't understand or don't know about completely, we're just like, oh, what's that? Agree. Especially back in the day. But also, we're the most open people. We invite everybody into the culture. We make the culture, and we ain't happy when the white boy does some dance move. Now he's invited to the cookout.
We open to a degree. Ask a nigga how much money he make.
We always ask black people how much money they
Be like, yo, how much money you make at your job, and watch how weird and how fast in the situation gets.
You talking about with us or with other people?
Let us all be sitting in the same room at the same job, and unless we like fuck with each other, but let us come together and be like, yo, how much they hire you for, and let you have gotten hired for 28 and us been hired for 26. Not saying you would act like that.
That jealousy,
like,
grows.
Wait, why are you asking? I'm like, yo, bro, we work the same position. You only make it so much. I'm asking you, so I know how to approach these motherfuckers going forward.
But see, that's a fact.
We
that's a super.
It's
fact.
hard. It's
I
hard.
wouldn't be worried about counting niggas' pockets.
Not worried about the $28 you make, my G.
Clipping my shit.
Because
and these niggas should be on it too.
Exactly.
Like, nah,
but we don't. But see, that's the issue. A lot of times, especially in jobs, it's like unionized. It's like, yo, let's strike. The freaking certain Hispanics or Mexicans, they'll walk the fuck out of the factory. They'll be like, we ain't getting paid. We're all. But also, they do everything together. A lot of them do everything together. Not I'm just taking them as a one point of what I'm trying to say.
Mostly all other races do shit together.
When I look at all of the activities,
except for the white race, they do shit, but they don't care how they look.
They do shit together too, bro.
Yeah,
they do shit together.
But
America just may not be family. It just might be a bunch of white motherfuckers together working.
But the Americanized thought is get what you get, fuck the next man.
So, to my point with bro last time, the shit that they do together is the shit that matters, which is investing in their infrastructure.
Gotcha.
My point about Section 8 before too is not the fact that you receive Section 8, because I get it, nigga. Life is hard. Life is hard as fuck. However, if you are receiving some type of resource or assistance to gain said resource, and you got 10 other people in your immediate circle that are doing the same thing, and y'all not doing nothing to get more of that, to get another property, or to make sure even your people are concentrated in a certain area just in case of emergency. What are we doing? Schools, banks, food, and hospitals. Whether you believe in Western medicine, whether you believe in holistic remedies, you still need to heal your elders. You have to birth your babies. And then while you can have doulas at home birth is just as dangerous as like giving birth in the hospital, bro, if not as dangerous.
You gotta, you have to make sure. But that's anything. Birth is a risky situation.
The fact of the matter is we still need people available. What if somebody cuts themselves and something has to be amputated? What if, you know what I'm saying?
I have you on that, and I understand, because it was y'all had that back and forth about the whole life insurance situation and things like that. And what I think he was getting at is we're so embedded in the system. It's hard. Like, you know how hard it is for me. Like, I'm a type of person that I like holistic shit. Right. Like, I prefer holistic. Like, I don't want to go to the hospital unless I break something.
Same.
You feel me? Like, I don't care about, I'm sick, blah, blah, blah. Like, after the pandemic, bro, and I was in a nursing home at that time, I'm like, nah, man. My mind is working too much. Like, y'all fooling me with this bullshit. Y'all making some shit up in 2 weeks and telling me to take this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I can't trust that.
So my counter to that, and this is not to you. This is not to you, right?
No, it's all good.
But let's say that this is me, right? I'm talking to people like, nah, son, we need to invest in some holistic shit, but I eat horribly. Like, if you look at my bank statement, you look at my bank statement, and majority of the time that I eat out, I'm eating at Wendy's, McDonald's, like places that we know that we share memes and stories. Can I ask you a question?
Why do you know that? Why do you? I stop all
because it's close, it's open, it's convenient.
Why? All right. What about just buying enough food and make? I try to eat mostly. I know the grocery store or some certain markets. You know what I mean?
Home cooked shit.
Yeah, I try that, and even though that shit has its issues, you know what I mean? There you go. I stopped eating McDonald's years ago.
So
years ago, maybe Burger King, like 7 years. Like I can't really.
So
no, don't.
I understand that it's different strokes for different folks. But one thing that I've like been paying attention to as of recent is like the average American talks about how they barely have enough time to do anything, like even engage with their children. For households with 2 working parents who get home, hopefully you get home at 3 o'clock. That's in a perfect world. Most jobs you don't get off until 5.
But
so
then wait, you get off. You get off 3 to 5. You got to pick up your.
Don't get out at 3.
Depending on your kids, if they're getting bussed home or whatever, you have to have a babysitter, if somebody to watch them, or you got to go pick them up, right? Things of that nature. You got to make sure they eat, and they probably want fast food because it's right there.
Me personally, I think cooking is like one of the biggest scams ever because it takes like 2-3 hours to prepare a meal sometimes.
What meals are you making?
Defrosting whatever. If you got shit out the freezer, seasoning, stopping to help with homework and shit like that.
Yeah.
Again, we already talking 5-6 o'clock in the evening. You got to don't let the kids have extracurriculars.
All right, though. But then
my little ones got karate, gymnastics, etc.
You know what it is?
What I'm saying? Like
for a second and right back
before
out.
you know it, it's 8 o'clock,
and
bro.
let me tell you this. Maybe that's because of my upbringing. I'm still with my family and all that shit, so I can understand the difference. But also, you gotta look at the age. You gotta look at the generations before. They made time. They certain of them, the ones that you had, the families that could, or even the single moms. Certain single moms, they tried to make time to do it. So
it was less shit.
It was a little bit different though, too, because a lot of us, well, I can't speak for a lot of us, but for a long time, I lived with my grandmother. Like all of us were in the same house. So my grandmother was the one who did a lot of the cooking.
But you helped when you could?
I didn't help cook. I'm not even gonna cap it. I was a young boy, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what that shit, bro, let me not lie to you. When I moved out of my grandmother's house, I was 8. And then my mom got married to my stepfather, and she was cooking and shit like that. But even then, like, my mom was home a lot for the first couple of years. Like, she was home, so having dinner ready by like 6:30, 7 o'clock was a realistic idea.
Right.
But this is going back to what we was. Damn, I love how this conversation.
This is how it starts. This is how the last one started.
But the idea of 2 working parents getting home at a decent hour and preparing food so that their kids can eat and then be in bed before 10 o'clock is a lot sometimes, bro.
No, I understand that and do that.
It's a lot. What I've found to be a trend is that, unfortunately, even when we want to order something quick for our children, the options around us are fucking horrible in urban areas. I've noticed in places like Teaneck, they don't allow that many fast food restaurants and shit to be like on Teaneck.
On the black side, you'll have your Popeye.
Where's the black side of Teaneck?
Where
closer to Roof Fork?
No.
You're on the black side of Teaneck.
Basically, you would say from Roof Fork.
Teaneck High goes like this, right?
Down.
Teaneck High. Let me break it down because
that's crazy because I never knew that
every town has it. They always say go across the railroad tracks with that, and God be willing, it's the railroad tracks that separates everything.
Right.
Boom. So
that too.
Cedar Lane is the white part of the whiter.
Those train tracks, right?
Let me tell you how I moved
through Voti Park.
I moved here in 93.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. I moved here in 93 in Teaneck, not this house, in Teaneck, right? And those apartments that you said that the cops.
The white side.
Yeah, that's the white side. When I walked up Cedar Lane with my mom one time, before it was a little bit more gentrified, every store was Jewish. Oh, let me not say that because when I clip it, every store was an ish store. Every store, the pizza store, or I don't know if Victor's was there then. Every store was that. Then as time went by, they had a couple more integrated type shops, right? So the high school is like this, boom. It faces every exit faces a side. So the black side, which he's more on,
that's called the
black doors.
The black doors.
It's called the black doors.
That's where the little bridge is.
Yes.
Okay, where you could go down and catch the bus.
That's the black side.
That's the black side. That's the black side. Boom.
More towards where we at is the more black side. Like going towards Bergenfield, that's all black.
Yo,
really,
bro.
But don't Bergenfield get a little?
Bergenfield is
or
the
Dumont
line.
is Dumont is.
Bergenfield's the line.
Yeah.
But that's where all the black is.
It's more integrated now, right?
My mind is blown.
So bust it. So the opposite of that on the other side is the Spanish doors.
All the white and Spanish
that leads toward
together.
Pagoda. So most of the Spanish families live closer to when you go towards Pagoda, where Dairy Queen is and the that basketball court.
Get the fuck out of here.
If you're black and you from that side, you're like a white side nigga.
They call you.
I feel like
my bro is from over on that side.
Is he Spanish?
No, he's black.
He's black.
He's black, but he's just skin complexion.
He's like.
Did he go to school in Tina?
Yeah.
I don't know. He always lived
now
on that side, like closer to 80.
Oh yeah. That's like TJ. Where TJ is,
close to the Richfield Park.
Yeah,
exactly.
Past TJ.
I tell son all the time, like nigga, you see rabbits in your yard, you live, buddy.
Now bust it. Now
he on a good
Word
side.
Is mine.
Now the
nowadays.
Now the middle.
You know
the entrance to the school. The middle where you walk up the big steps, that's the white doors. Because that's where all the
entrance, right?
Yeah. That's where all the white or ish people live. Hebrew
I don't
Hills,
believe y'all, bro.
all that shit.
I don't believe you niggas, bro.
What are you talking about? We lived here.
I'm going past Teaneck High, bro, one day.
It's
in the daytime. In the daytime.
It's more mixed.
And I'm going to see that shit.
Yes, it's more mixed now, but...
No, I'm looking at the doors.
Dog, the 90s was completely
I'm going to look at the doors and I'm going to stand there and I'm going to just look and see in proximity where the doors
you can see on both sides. You can see on what's that, Beverly, and then that street where it goes down towards the highway.
But wasn't we just talking? We was literally just talking about this before the camera came on about property and shit and how we can't afford to live where we want type shit. We got to live where we can, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and that shit's going up. Everything's going up.
Hackensack is a mix.
Hackensack is up.
It's a mix though.
Going up. It's up and it's going up.
So
they're building everything.
I'm actually at a function Sunday celebrating somebody's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that are there are from New York, but they don't know I'm from Jersey. And I'm just sitting there and they just were talking and, you know, they asking them where they live at now. They're like, yeah, we live in Hackensack. And I'm like,
are they from the city?
Yeah, they from Brooklyn. And I'm like,
but that's up. That's up for them.
And I realized
Bergen County is a up for anybody. Bergen County, bust it. That's why I say when it comes to rap and entertainment, for a motherfucker that grows up here, it's hard because you kind of already made it, bro. All the people from the hood and the city, they got houses out here. We run into them on the regular.
Also, Jersey's a stepping stone too. Once you get a crib in Jersey, after a while, then after that, you planning your next move.
Mm-hmm. Nah, that's a fact.
Because this is really a port town,
bro.
I'm
not gonna lie to you, bro. Like
Jersey opens everything up for you to keep going.
There's few other states that I love. Like I love California. Mm-hmm. Like Cali almost got me, bro. Like one time going out, I never came back.
I can see that.
But Cali gets a lot of motherfuckers.
Nigga,
I've been there seven times.
3 days in, I was like really contemplating on how I could like make this move.
Right. It's expensive out there too, though, right?
I ain't give a fuck. Nigga, I woke up.
When was this? What age? What time frame was
2016? Was the first time I went to California.
Okay.
I landed in Oakland. I was supposed to meet
Is that the Bay or that's different?
That's the Bay.
Okay.
I was supposed to land.
Cooler and all them niggas that they doing that.
I landed in the Bay. I was supposed to meet my folks. They was somewhere else, so I hopped on a boat bus and ended up in Rancho Cucamonga, bro.
Oh, that's where they did Friday,
bro.
After next,
my G.
Next Friday,
8 hours.
Yeah,
it was an 8-hour bus ride.
The
drive.
That's down.
Ain't the drive like 3? Ain't that drive like 5 hours?
Nah,
or 3, 5.
I mean, if you drive in Dolo, then yeah, it's a lot quicker. But the bus makes stops and picks people up and does restroom breaks and all of that. But during that drive down there, I'm like looking at the coastline and the scenery and just like the landscape of America.
You see all the canyons and shit? You see canyons,
mountains, and I'm just like, bro.
My family, when I was out there, this is 07. My family was like in Fresno. And then we went all the way to Hollywood. I was like, God fucking damn, how long is it?
It's spread out.
I landed in the Bay, got on the bus.
Everything like 3 to 5 hours away.
I met them in Rancho. We drove to Venice Beach.
Mm-hmm.
We went from Venice Beach. We drove back up to Oakland.
Wow.
In the car. Like I went down on the bus. We drove back in the car. We spent Halloween in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. Yo, you want to talk about white people wilding out, bro? Not giving a fuck, bro. Like, yo,
that was crazy.
Halloween in San Francisco was one of the wildest times that I've ever experienced, bro.
That's crazy.
Niggas fight the cops, like white people, like drunk as hell in the street. Like,
see, they gonna get away with
yo,
it.
bro. One day I'm gonna show you the footage.
They get away or
Yo, bro, it's good. And this is back before people was like blogging and shit. I just whipped out my phone and it was like, like you had to get the back. Get him, man. Get him.
You wasn't sure. You was like this. You was like this. I'm not sure.
Look, mind you, because it's crazy. Because you know, I forget the name of the strip, but in San Francisco, it's like a main Ave, but it's white drunk people outside. It's prostitutes walking up and down the block. The pimps is in the cut. Like it's some, but the pimps look like us, right. And I'm like,
but this is the Bay,
yo,
right?
This
is the Bay, right?
Yeah, bro.
So they don't really have like. They don't have sets and shit like that. That's like a LA thing.
Wait,
Cali.
They got not really. They mostly on some pimping
shit. Yeah. They on some pimping shit.
Before we came back up to the Bay, we stopped in the 23rd.
Oh, y'all was in the 20s?
That air is different, boy.
What
Don't even give me the look. Look. So we driving back up. We had to go get gas, and you know I'm with one of the beloveds. He gonna get gas where he feels safe. Just so happens. It was there. And he tell me when I get out the car where I'm at, and I'm just like,
shit smell different.
Yo, my nigga, you can call me pussy, you can call me what you want, nigga.
Nah, you aware, nigga.
You know what? Yo, dogs, that air is different, but shit, California is such a beautiful place.
You have to
place,
definitely
bro.
be on your P's and Q's.
Beautiful.
You definitely got to be.
Everywhere you go.
I was talking to Beloved, though, like, just how I dress alone, I'm gangbanging every set out there.
The hats. You can't
Yankees,
rock any.
Red Sox, White Sox, goddamn Brewers, Seattle Mariners, nigga, the Knicks colors.
Niggas on some baseball shit.
Yo, bro, all right, so
they kind of changed from the whole because everybody wears like multiple colors now, right? Yeah. But it's like that fitteds and the snaps. The hats mean some shit now.
The hats be
and I ain't know that. Bro. You put me on it. I was like, what
the hats be everything, bro.
Where you from?
That's part of the reason.
You gotta come in with like a plain hat. Like, how do you not?
You gotta wear it if you out there.
What's a neutral hat? Like, give me a neutral,
LA hat.
Right.
It just says hat.
Just a LA hat.
A LA Dodgers hat.
Yep. Well, does a color mean anything or not?
No. LA Dodgers colors is okay. Just don't get like alternate colors that are like some other shit.
Get you a black one.
To be safe, look, you notice
black is always neutral, right?
Most of them niggas wear black, white, khaki, and earth tones. Mm-hmm. Stay away from them solid royals, them greens and blues and oranges and yellows.
That's other shit.
That's all somebody's shit, bro. Mm. And honestly, California politics is too much for me to keep up with. So
yeah,
I smoke a lot of reefer, my nigga. Like, I'm just trying to get high, trying to get some money. If I'm stepping on your toes, my bad, beloved. Like, and out there, you got to worry about too much too. Because while you worry about the gangs, you got to worry about the bikers. You got to worry about the police. Them niggas are awful.
It's true, but it ain't that bad.
My nigga, it is 17 active violent gangs within the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department right now, bro.
Yeah,
17. The executioners.
Bikers?
No, these niggas got ties to them shits though. Allegedly.
We're all alleged on this shit.
Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is this. I got enough shit to worry about right now. Mm-hmm. Let me not complicate that matter by inserting myself into California. It'd be different if like my family was rooted there. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody there.
My folks is there too, but still, for me to insert myself in that and alter their dynamic by having to make sure I'm all right now instead of me just staying in my lane.
Right. Got you.
Let me just stay the fuck out the way, bro. Get it out, my nigga. Let me go smoke some good weed. Get the fuck on. I ain't even there for the women no more. So let me get the fuck in and get the fuck out, bro. Like,
shit. It's just that we're gonna pitch stop in the hood.
Yeah, I love Cali. Florida, you can keep that shit.
Them hoods. Florida, you don't like Florida?
I hate the heat, bro.
Oh man.
I'm not a fan of the heat, beloved.
Florida's wild though, too.
I love it.
I don't care about that. Florida, I could have, nigga.
That's what the water's for. The
everything. I could have a goddamn alligator as a goddamn puppy, bro. Nigga, it's up in Florida. I just don't like the heat.
It's the heat that
it's the heat.
Is it humid? Is it humid all the time? No, Cali don't have humidity like that though. It just has like the sun heat and shit like that. Is it humid? Is it mad humidity in Florida?
by G.
Is it like New York humidity?
I got one better for you. In Jersey, in the summertime, I don't come outside until the sun start going down.
I understand that. I've done that before.
You ain't gonna catch me
I've
at
done
no
that, but
12 in the afternoon basketball game and all of that shit.
That's when the sun is just beaming on you. Go to Voti. Play Voti.
I smoke too much for that. I smoke too much, bro. And I remember when I used to smoke sour in the summertime, how it used to have me like, I'm not doing that no more. So I try to keep in cool environments during the day. When it gets nice, then I'll come outside, bro. But I'm not a fan of the heat. That's why Texas was off the list too. Beautiful state, but
hot.
Well, Texas is another part of the news.
I like it hot. I just like to be by the water when it's hot.
So he's a water sound.
Florida's perfect. You hot and you by the water.
So boom, I go to Miami one time, right?
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be in Miami. I could talk about it now because me and my wife done moved past it. I love you, bro.
I'm not making this one a question.
Nah, you ain't got to. So I'm in Miami one time. I ain't supposed to be, and I'm down there, and I ain't doing shit. I'm just sitting in the water by myself, and I'm just like, damn, I'm just chilling. And I'm like, I am in Miami, and I ain't really chasing no women, nothing. I'm just sitting in the water, just thinking about shit. I don't really fuck with the water, so I ain't go that far. I'm like deep enough where I could just sit down and the water's still right here.
Hovering and shit.
Yo, bro, I'm just sitting there and I just like look down and I see like these little crabs running past. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, let me move my toes because I don't want to get clipped. I stand up and I bump something. I look, it's a jellyfish right there. I'm like, oh, shit. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. My G, I was right. Bro, I literally just told you that I walked far enough to
that it was like right here.
The water standing up was probably like right here. Me sitting down, it came to like right here.
Yeah.
And for them to be that close, I was like, yeah, I'm good.
That's ill.
And if it's just my luck, I got stung by a jellyfish doing some shit I wasn't supposed to be doing. And I wasn't even doing shit, but I was just somewhere that I wasn't necessarily honest about where I was and why I was supposed to be down there.
Jellyfish is hectic, bro.
Yeah,
you gotta like. That's tough.
And the way my life worked, it'd be just my luck, bro, that I end up somewhere that I know I ain't supposed to be, like Australia.
Yeah.
Why am I there?
Why not?
Why am I? Okay.
Why not?
If you got a show in Australia, I understand that. If they booking me to do a podcast in Australia, I'm going to stay in the hotel the entire time.
No, you cannot.
Bro,
you
said you want to do it from the hotel room.
Everything in Australia is designed to kill you.
The dingo?
I'm gonna just let you think about it. A kangaroo will kick you in your face.
The kangaroos don't play.
The sharks, you're done. The jellyfish, you're done.
The dingo.
The snakes, you're done. The spiders that hang at the side of your pool in Australia, you're done.
That's crazy.
That's the thing. Going to different places with the insects, the sizes, and how
these niggas will grab a 10-foot boa. Oh, look at this one here, Mike. You see, this is beautiful. Bro, there's no way that I'm gonna see a 10-foot snake and just be like, all right, let me go back to doing whatever I was doing.
Why are they more like, oh, this is an animal that I shouldn't be touching, and then we walk by and it's like, I'm a thug and I'm an animal.
It's the same shit with us in the country right now, city boys and country boys. Like Australians got to live with that shit. That place was designed for prisoners, so you had to be tough to survive there.
There was a story.
So the people that live there, they pride themselves on being Aussie or being Australian. They pride themselves on that.
That was they sent people there to be like vanquished from something.
They exiled niggas from Australia, bro.
That live in Australia, that's from different places. So
well, that's how it happens.
Shit, they all moved there.
I mean, now, there was a point in time they didn't even expect Australia's population to have boomed the way that it shit did, bro.
Yeah.
Like when they sent the prisoners there, like
they filmed some movies down there. They go down there. I think Matrix was filmed out there.
Wasn't Wolf Creek or something down there too?
What was my show I used to watch?
It was like a slasher movie that was
Green the Orange?
Something Rasworth. It was a show, a jail bitch show. Fact, that shit was hard. It was
Wadsworth?
Wadsworth.
Okay.
I never heard of that.
Wadsworth.
Yeah, Wadsworth.
That was hard.
I didn't watch it, but
that was in Australia.
You know what I just started watching? And I don't really watch TV like that, but I'm kind of glad I did. Dope Thief on Apple TV.
I've never seen that.
I know where homeboy from
Atlanta that played
Paperboy. He plays those parts, but he's on the other side of the fence.
Do that matter?
No, it doesn't. But
I'm just asking, like real shit.
No. The reason why I brought that up, right, is because no. The reason why I brought that up, right, is because when he first did Paperboy and it was like a big thing in Atlanta, I would see certain interviews and see him. I was like, oh, he looks a kind of. I wasn't sure. So because of Dope Thief, he just did an interview, a full interview, and I was like, oh, okay, I see. So it was just like I didn't know, and then I was thinking because he does it so good, he plays that kind of character so believable that a lot of times I read the comments and they be like, that ain't Paperboy. I just be researching shit and I'll be like, okay, I see how it goes. But let me ask you a question. If that's the case, right? If I'm a heterosexual male and I play a non-heterosexual male, can they be upset at me?
Who is they?
That
Your bank account?
No, nigga.
Your pockets?
The culture.
Your family?
That culture I'm talking about.
That's
not
people that
the
fucking matter, bro.
Okay.
Who the fuck is coming to support your shit? Because most times, like, you ever heard the phrase, there are too many critics and very few credentials?
Yeah.
Most of the people that critique your shit are not even spending money to. How many niggas got shit to say about your shit and actually watched a full episode?
Right. I watched the shit.
Not you, but I'm saying other
general,
people. You know what I'm saying?
No, they
So,
see
like,
a clip. People see clips.
Right.
And they just go off the clip.
To answer your question,
I like to
Audrey,
research my shit.
To answer your question, at this stage that I'm at in life, bro, I have met some amazing people that are members of the LGBTQ community. Are they flamboyant and disrespectful and like super on Front Street and making you digest their lifestyle? No. There's some of them that I do know, but they do it in the privacy of themselves and not like they close friend stories. If they are capable, like, who's my man? Domingo Coleman or whatever his name is.
That sounds familiar.
He's like, he did in the new movie Sing Sing or some shit like that, or Sing is about the movie, whatever. I'll get his name in a minute. Or Buddy from Moonlight.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, if you were capable of producing quality art, bro,
it doesn't matter.
Don't fucking matter. What matters is when you trying to fuck little kids. What matters is when you raping people, men and women alike.
Well,
when you drugging niggas. All of that shit shouldn't matter.
You know what's crazy about that is because you hear that most from the side of the quote unquote heterosexual males.
My nigga Langston Hughes was gay. James Baldwin was gay.
Yeah.
James who?
James Baldwin was gay. Like,
you know
Bayard Rustin was gay.
You know what it is? But you all right, but I hit a point right there.
G.
Wait.
Nah.
Pulling niggas card.
Yeah.
Look.
No, it's not cards.
So
No. I'm talking about. I was curious because I was just like, it's the presentation. When you hear James Baldwin, you don't just go to that because of where he's coming from, right?
That's fair,
right? It's not up front, right? And I'm not saying, I hate saying it's nothing wrong with it, but I'm not saying that's the issue. I'm just saying before I knew his sex, I knew his words.
So what I'm saying to you is this, like, and it's not that
I want to get into the show, but go ahead.
It's not that you hit a point with me, but I see that when we have conversations like men, most times when we in conversation about anything, we either get caught up on the pause conversation, or the pause game, which is funny.
It's funny.
You know what I'm saying? But then we get caught up on like not paying attention to somebody's contributions because of who they fucking.
Which matters not.
Which matters not because we know some niggas in the hood that fuck women that are unsavory. Do we judge them on that?
No, because a lot of them men is trying to still fuck that same woman.
We know a lot of men. I got one better for you.
That's what they do.
I got one better for you.
This nigga says.
Do we know men, right, that knowingly have a bunch of kids with a bunch of women not taking care of? We might not know them personally, but they not taking care of their children, but they outside still doing whatever. They drippy. They got Balenci on. They got whatever the fuck they got on. We don't tell them niggas to go to fuck inside. We don't be like, nigga, you can't be a part of these reindeer games because you're not handling your responsibility.
But is that an issue because we don't want to deal with? Because if what they're doing affects your family in a way,
And my
clean
book,
up
that's
house.
worse.
You gotta clean up house.
And my book, that's worse because you not handling your responsibility now may come to my doorstep in 20 years.
That's true, but we not. Wait. Not cutting you up. Wait, I'm not.
What we just say? We ain't looking at 20 years.
I am. Now I am.
You are, but the average black man in America that doesn't have the ability to reach out and get all the things he thinks he needs or wants, a lot of them don't.
Let's push the pause button on that and let's address that.
Go ahead.
First of all, again, to the solution and to what is going to help be the catalyst to help us like start changing this shit is, again, adopting different practices in what we do, just even when we wake up every day, bro. The first thing we do instead of grabbing our phone. Like the other day, having a conversation with my 8-year-old because he's sitting at the table having a confidence issue with himself, bro. I'm in a fucked up space because I come from the era that I'm like, what you mean you feel down about yourself?
Yeah,
you
great.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? And I found myself just sitting there talking to him and asking him questions like, yo, why do you feel this way? Son, you need to love yourself. Do you know what that means? And when I'm explaining it to him, I'm like amazed at myself that I could even tell him, nigga, loving yourself.
Did you come up like that? Did you come with someone telling you that? Because
Definitely not.
My G.
I didn't know my father loved me.
I mean, some people,
let alone like
for the
me.
most part, black families,
Like
old families was not.
Whoever may watch this too, I don't ever get on any platform and bash any of my family members, but we did not have the greatest family dynamic. One of those things that entails is that the treatment that the men in our family experienced versus the women, just like in many black families, just not saying that it happens in all black families, but women get a little bit more assistance or even reassurance versus when young black boys are dressed, where you going? Where you think you going? You going to court? You got, you know what I'm saying? We can't get dressed because of that. So I didn't get, you need to love yourself, bro. And loving yourself entails not allowing anybody to ever abuse you, even if it's me. And when I said that to my son, nigga, I just stopped and I was just like, because I was like watching it in third person. Because I was like, yo, bro,
you told your son and yourself at the same time.
Yo, my G, this shit is so surreal, my nigga. And like, I think if more of us, right, we're taught to love ourselves, my nigga.
That's where it comes
young ages.
But that's where it comes from.
We had to learn how to love ourselves.
My nigga, I had to learn myself after thinking that I was going to find it through other women. I thought that I was going to find the love for myself by trying to quantify the number of women that I was with.
But that's that
shit's a crash out recipe.
That's that schoolboy. You gotta I fuck so and so. But that's another thing it's
a crash out recipe, bro. Because we do not spend enough time talking.
I was never the dude that got all the girls. I was never the dude that was the most popular. I was always with the crew that was like, yo, we trying to fuck something.
That happened to me until
like I was with the crew, like, yo, you know how that is. Yo, you over there? Where that? Your shorty's over there?
Like, my luck with the ladies didn't come until like my 20s. When I started like
when you really
being outside and you know what I mean? And I started getting a little taste of something. And even then, like they was fucking with me because I was cute.
Like college and
you know what I'm saying?
20s.
Like I wasn't checking them boxes, bro. And like I think if we tell more of our young men like to focus on checking them boxes, bro, before you try to become anybody's partner.
Well, now we have a generation that's, and I want to talk about this a little bit too briefly, because I know you get in your zone, but now we have we have a lot of the black men and the black women discussion a lot of the times. And a lot of the times with this discussion is the black man, certain black men ain't shit, and now certain black men don't want to really pursue.
Some black men ain't shit. I'm gonna be the one to say it. Some black men ain't shit.
Okay, but
just like there are some women too who aren't shit.
But bro. see, that's the thing too. Like, why? All right, but we shouldn't say our black women aren't shit at all. It should always be no. Listen. See this nigga right here. Listen.
Niggas ain't shit, bitches
right?
ain't shit.
Hoes and tricks and shit.
And you gotta prove that you somebody because I'm somebody, so I'm gonna peep all the funny shit, all the fake shit, and keep it pushing. And that's how it goes. You gotta wean shit out.
Yeah, but
and you gotta clean up house first.
You know what it is? I'll be clear with you. The reason why a lot of men and women ain't shit is because we don't have no morals and discipline anymore. If we had it at one time, it's gone.
Say it's more than that, man. It's different people, different places, different parents, different IQ.
Yeah, but that comes from. But if we all came from,
whole lot of
but
shit,
if we all came from, a good base family, not now every family gonna have their trouble. We all gonna argue. We all gonna have some negative situations. But if you come from a good base family or foundation somewhere, right?
You ever seen a nigga come from a good base family and still gangbang?
Yeah.
You ever seen a nigga come from a good family, 2-parent household, good suburban setting and shit like that, and that still niggas still will go and cop a pack, bro?
Or fiend out.
But why are they doing that?
Because
what I say, I don't know if you was here before. I don't know if you was here last time when I said this. I don't know who I said this to, but I was like, remember chivalry?
Chivalry.
Boom. You know why men were chivalrous to women?
Because you like the girl, or you trying.
That was your way.
That was a way to get her.
Yeah.
Right. That was your way to get her. Somewhere in the time frame that didn't be.
She wore this down.
That shit got worse. Right. Now we got the chivalrous. The chivalrous guy. The chivalrous guy is the nice guy, so to say, right? And back in the day, certain women be like, "Oh my god," and the bad guy would get her, all that shit, that whole Mario shit, whatever. But as time changed, listen, as times changed, the bad guy, the dude that wasn't so chivalrous, got her attention, got the girl, right?
Right.
So why is chivalry dead? Because if I'm chivalrous to certain women, I might not get that woman. It was the way to get the woman.
All right, so
wasn't it not the way to get the woman?
It was.
It's back the right woman.
Is dual-fold.
It's the right woman.
All right, so but the right woman is mixed in with the hoes now. So how do you find them?
Not necessarily.
A lot of them are.
Nah, so look.
A lot of them are, nigga.
The idea of holding the door for somebody, yes, that is or was a way for us to get like noticed by a young lady who normally is in her own zone and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes you noticed when you aren't noticing nobody is when you doing that shit regularly. You holding that door, period.
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk about raising that metric or pushing that metric forward of us, even how we engage with each other, like we got to start operating in that space, bro, of just holding the door for a nigga. Me and my wife talking last night, right?
Normal shit.
Me and my wife talking last night about property and like the hood and like, you know, why people think the way they do and shit like that. And I'm like, yo, bro, like, while
you don't call your wife bro though.
No,
I'm just saying.
Nah. While I get the idea, and I resided in that space at one time, me asking the question to us as a collective,
mm-hmm.
what is stopping us from like doing something as simple as going outside and picking up litter, or not doing one of these when we come out the corner store
and throwing it out,
versus going to actively look for a trash can.
Yeah.
And if you don't see a trash can, go buy a trash can.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, we spend more money at the dispensaries now. A trash can, even a 60-gallon can might run you $140 at Home Depot. So what? Now your block is clean and your kids might not be walking over no fucking dog shit or tracking that shit in your house now. Or potentially stepping on no needles.
That's crazy.
But that's
the hood though.
My G.
That sound like
my G. I have watched white people. I have watched other cultures come outside and literally just come outside with a garbage bag from their house and just pick garbage up. And they will put it in their garbage can.
You know why? They have pride in where they live. They have pride in where they live. The hood, we don't have pride in the hood.
I'm talking to my bro today about how to just enhance.
Even out here.
How to just enhance the property value of your crib by like 20 grand by just adding curb appeal to your shit. You know what that is?
No. Out here. Sometimes I come out here and it'd be like I'll be like, yo, what the fuck?
You know,
like, I don't be on some hood shit where you just walk right by it. I'll be like, yo, what the fuck is this shit? Like, who? And I'll go pick some shit up because it's like, it makes it look crazy.
Do you know what?
And this is it's like your
I
block.
ain't touching that shit.
You
It ain't my block,
if
it
shit
ain't
blow
my
up, if shit blow past your house, and you won't say you gonna just leave it there.
Oh no, it's a fact. If it's in front of my house, I'm definitely throwing it away.
Okay, but anywhere else, we walking by it, right?
That's a fact. I don't know who touched
Because
that
we don't
shit,
have
where it
pride
came
in.
from.
All right, so
But I'm just saying, if it's in the community that you live in, like that you live in immediately, like where you live, if you went out to the main road and saw that, and it's just like a bunch of garbage somewhere, ain't enough for you to go turn back around, go get some gloves from the house and go do it. Yeah, it's extra effort for you to do it. If you doing something right now,
but that's community work. That's a community
1000%.
And a lot of black. This is my issue with certain black. We talk in a community mind state without really having a community like that.
So I say to niggas, right? If we aren't gonna pick up trash right now, and nobody is on our back, like, right? So let me back up. Right? Because niggas be talking about shit like, yo, we need to fight the system. I heard one of my beloveds say that they should organize and rush the motor vehicle, bro, because they won't allow niggas walk-in appointments for the real ID.
Nah, that's crazy.
First of all, my nigga, that is a recipe for niggas to get shot. I'm telling you, any nigga who's watching this, do not go rush. Do not rush the Department of Motor Vehicles, bro. Them sheriffs will shoot you, bro.
Oh yeah, they there. They
will absolutely shoot you. They have been telling us in the news since late 2024 to the end of 2024 that in May, it was the deadline that in order for you to fly domestically, you will need your real ID to fly.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't like unknown news. This shit has been like broadcasted everywhere.
Yeah.
My G, I remember when I tried to make an appointment for my real ID during COVID. Yeah. And how difficult it was then. So there was never like a really small window where you was able to just walk the fuck in and do it. You not being prepared right now ain't nobody fault but your own. Now, even then, it's not saying that you can't move around as you are. You just can't fly right now without a passport. Go get a passport. Yeah. Like me suggesting that you get a passport is out of the realm of is out of the realm of possibility. I'm not talking from an instance of thinking that I'm better than somebody, but I'm talking as a nigga who didn't get his passport until I was 35.
Right. If I can get it, you can get it too.
My G. And I'm telling you, bro, I couldn't get it one time because of child support. Mm-hmm. They denied me my shit, or then I couldn't get it because I owed back taxes and all of that shit. Like, and I was just like, yo, damn, I used to see motherfuckers posting memes online like, yo, he's cute and all of that, but he can't even leave the country. And he used to like strike me like, get your hand out my pocket type shit. And there was no excuse that if God forbid, in case of emergency, I can't get my family out the country.
Right.
Or my family can go out the country, but I got to stay because I don't got no passport.
So, all right. Because I wanted to hit some things, but I was like, this is...
Go ahead, Brody.
No, it was like kind of going in a circle.
Go ahead, my brother.
So, all right, as a... Because when you was here last time, you went back and forth with Andre about it, and it kind of seemed like y'all was agreeing, but was on two different sides of how to get there.
You want to hear me talk some radical shit? We ain't prepared to be radical, huh?
I agree with you on that.
Physically,
I agree with you on that.
Supply-wise,
I agree with
financially. You want me to keep going, nigga? Like and you talking to a nigga that if ever came down to it, I'd squabble with whoever the fuck, if necessary, as a grown ass man. However, I'm being realistic. I smoke more than a little bit. Unless I train, by default, you only got 40 seconds of wind in you, bro. Who you fighting?
But all right, bro. Wait.
Give me 1 second. Who is niggas fighting, bro?
I'm a fighter, so.
Like if you had, if your life depends on anything, I don't give a. You find that in, my nigga.
Like niggas is about to deploy robots on us.
All right,
nigga.
I got
what
you.
I'm saying to you is, while I share the sentiment about revolt and rebellion and fighting back and all of that shit,
that's what he's doing.
Us three just having the vigor to do it, or 10,000 of us versus the 20 million of us that are sitting here. The numbers are skewed.
But that's also
cooked.
We're in trouble.
That's also the reason
How
why.
many of our elders are in shape right now?
Nah, you can forget that.
He said, "How many of our elders?"
Real shit. That to where if they needed to just run, let's say 3 blocks, at full speed. And this is not a shot at anybody, but think about
that's crazy.
Think about all the elders. Think about your bros,
That's
elders.
bullshit,
Can niggas run right now? Are we gonna leave them?
Niggas
What about our
gonna get
children?
left.
What about our medically needy?
That's real shit.
Niggas gonna get left.
That's real shit. But it's fucked up, bro. It's designed perfectly against us.
And my only point, right, is that if it came down to it, I'm willing to fight for my freedom. I'm willing to die for this shit.
Yeah.
How about we be more calculated before it comes to that? Because we still got a chance to like do something.
That's a fact. Gotta get out.
We watching niggas buy Urises in front of us. Urises are top at 350, bro. Like, so I said to my wife last night, right? And
I knew I was going to do that eventually.
I get passionate about this part of it because, right?
Yeah.
I'm paying attention to the numbers.
Go ahead. Wait. Bring that back. What you were saying?
I said I was talking to my wife about this, right?
Mhm.
And like I get passionate about this part because somebody needs to like show me some data, right? Because black people make up less than white people.
More.
Make up less in the population, right? We're unemployed more by numbers, but we spend more
because we're the biggest consumers. And this is a consumer base.
What we do.
America is strictly consumer based, right?
So what's knowing that? So what's knowing that, right? And knowing
but
that,
we ain't consuming the right seed.
And us seeing all of this shit, and after like the fourth president that has come,
now?
After like the fourth president that we've seen come into office that just came in and did shit for everybody else, or they could only do what they could for us. At what point do we attempt to like take that shit into our own hands and take a tactic other than violence? Because again, you fighting a machine and you're
bro.
We not fully equipped. If you say
we're under resourced,
we're
bro.
not even. But bro, we fighting ourselves before even we fight anything.
We do not possess the mental aptitude right now to even survive the rigors of war. Let me tell you something. I'm not even in the military, right? But if I needed to go attack my enemy, the first thing I'm gonna do, if I have the ability to, I'm cutting your water off and I'm gonna starve you. You got 2 weeks. I'm gonna let you go crazy. I'm gonna let you go crazy, bro. I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna pull a line back. I'm gonna be like, as long as these niggas don't get to right here, don't push the button yet. I'm gonna let you think that you doing whatever, and you're gonna be weak and scavenging for resources.
Right.
And when you think you found something, I'm gonna eviscerate the shit and I'm gonna come through and wipe you out because you ain't got the energy to fight me. Your elderly are already done. Your children are already out of it. Nigga, look what they did to Gaza. If you think my nigga, if you think that shit will not happen to us, and the reasoning for them doing it to us is us being radical and attacking them.
Let me ask you a question, right? If that's all true, right? That's all true. Do we continue to just play the position that we're dealt at this time? No, at this time. Or do at some point, do we try to, because I think it's like,
what is the position that we are dealt, may I ask?
If Cohen Pro and the Panthers were kept going solid, I think that mind state would have continued on, right? And we don't have that mind. We need that mind state first, right? Then we need to mobilize and be able to put the money together to build, right? Right? Are we just going to continue to be the biggest consumers and say whatever happens with the parent company, because those are the parent companies, and we just abide by that? Or do we try? I mean,
I'm gonna say this, and before I say this, I want to say to the beloveds that the elders specifically that might run across this, I don't mean this in no disrespect, and I say this as respectfully as I possibly can. But some of those old ideologies
are out the window
that were slightly effective
back then
will not be remotely effective today. The thought process and the blueprint of, preserving the essence of us is and should still be a thing. But again, bro, everything has changed on us.
Yeah.
Warfare has evolved to think God has told us that he's not going to destroy the earth the way he did before. So why you think that the enemy that we fought is going to come at us the same way either? Not comparing him to God, but he already think he is.
He playing God.
He's been playing God for centuries. So for us to either A, underestimate it, B, wait for a space of desperation to get our shit together, when again, right now, we watching niggas with 6, 7, 8 chains around their neck. If you got access to that bread, I'm not gonna go buy them chains, but show me how to go get that bag too.
Right.
There's enough money out here that I'm not taking it out your pocket. Show me how to go get that bag so I can show you how to do an Umar and really open a school or a resource center. Because I'm gonna go get a block that nobody want to go to. I already got my beloveds already gave me safe passage to certain areas. I'm gonna go get in one of the most detestable fucking areas, and I'm gonna show you niggas what happens when young niggas got some shit to do. When I'm gonna show you what to do with fiends who want some drugs and shit like that, or they wanted they fixed. Who used to be carpenters and plumbers and shit like that. I'm gonna show you what the fuck to do, because ain't no age limit on them niggas going back to school. Go get certified again, bro. So that this way, your shit is licensed and bonded. And that this way, when it's time for me to insure this building, they won't be like, no, because I got shoddy work done.
Right.
People want to feel like they are part of some shit, bro. Me giving you money versus me showing you how to get money, it's two totally different ballparks, bro.
A lot of us don't want to.
I do. And I run into enemies every time I do.
You're one of them.
Every time I do, I run into niggas like, yo, what the fuck? I don't like this nigga. Like, damn, my G.
Because they're not willing to work for it. Niggas want to take that handout.
People want
niggas want the handout.
They want the easier.
When I was coming up, bro, my problem was
they want to be fly.
And this is leading back to black people's problem. I was looking for my sense of belonging. I was looking for my tribe, my niggas who thought like I thought and wanted to do shit like I did. So much so to when whatever clique was doing something, they was like, yo, Rel, do this for me. I was like, oh, word? You need something drawn for you? I ain't gonna say no names, but y'all know who y'all are. Like, you know what I'm saying? But now that we at this point in life, like, niggas don't even like really fuck with me. And somebody said some prolific shit one day, bro. They said nobody's gonna invite you to their party when you become the party. And when they said that shit,
because they want to be the fucking
bus, bro. They said you're never gonna be invited anywhere where the energy just shifts.
Yeah,
bro.
To you,
it's just like how they say there can only be one main black comedian at a time. Motherfuckers want to be that nigga all the time. You got niggas that are old that was that nigga back then that still want to be that nigga.
I don't think we have any idea on how much money is really outside, bro.
No.
Like,
no.
And I'm not talking, yo, bro. The money that we would make off the streets is nothing compared to what the legal licks you could be involved in all at the same time. And as long as your books are in order, you ain't got to worry about no alphabet coming to kick your.
You know what it is? Bro. A lot of times for niggas to get into shit like that, even motherfuckers feel they not qualified. They don't know. And let me tell you something about not knowing or being wrong. Motherfuckers don't like to be wrong or not know. I use this example all the time. Me and you, I could ask you a question right now, right? And it's just me and you, right? If I ask you this question, most likely if you don't know the answer, you're gonna say, I don't know. Put us in the same place with people around us. And I ask you that same question. You're gonna reach for the stars for an answer that you know is wrong, but you don't want to seem like you're wrong in front of people.
We're in such a complex space, bro.
That's how people are.
Some of us are so.
That's how people are.
Some of us are so great, bro, and we are afraid of being the first ones in our family and our lineage to be great. My beloved is, bro, when I tell you this man is such a great man, like. He just so happens. You ever met niggas that are like really good men? They just happen to be in the street. They're successful at being in the street.
Yeah.
Like, this dude is so fucking prolific, man. Like, I see this man being like an imam or something like that, bro. The things we talk about, the energies we exchange. And when he talks to me, he tells me about like his inhibitions sometimes are literally just being great. And I'm like, yo, that is like, I share that sentiment, but for us to be saying that shit out loud and be afraid of the invisible man when the invisible man is literally capable of bringing us to a totally different level is insanity, bro.
I did the same thing.
And our
producing.
problem is doubling back. We ain't got no idea of what guidance or what success looked like growing up. We didn't see the scientists. We didn't see even like philosophers who get a check. It might not be often, but they might get a check every 300 for 350 grand for some thesis that they published or something. Like, I've met some beautiful minds in the hood, bro. But I've met some distracted minds. I've met some hurt minds. And that's somebody who has been hurt. Somebody who resided in a hurt space for such a long time. I'm able to identify that shit. The saying goes, this is what my beloved know. I was listening to him. He tell me all the time, to know yourself is to know another, bro. And going on this journey of therapy and all of that shit, a lot of this shit that's on this board is like fucking with my energy right now. Because trying to do not necessarily the right thing, but not doing nothing you wouldn't want done to you, to nobody else, it take more practice than you think. That line, it's a full-time job not to kill niggas, rings sometimes in some niggas' heads louder than most.
Why is it so easy? Right. Why is it so easy for us to kill each other other than kill the real opposition?
Because you fighting the monster and yourself at the same time. And that, oh my God.
It was a good question.
That's the shrooms, bro. That's the shrooms that just brought me to that shit. Yo, my G. When you just asked me that, I literally thought about like myself and like when I had hatred for anybody, like I was mad at myself too.
You hated yourself, so anything else.
I was mad at niggas telling me, the ones that did love me, telling me when I was older, like, yo, bro, you could do more. They didn't necessarily tell me what more was, but they was like, yo, bro, you like capable of more. And once you start fighting with yourself and knowing you can do more, bro, like God be talking to you, bro. Sometimes we be so distracted we don't hear his voice.
Oh, you hear it. I think you hear it.
It's how you process it.
Yeah, I think God talked to us different ways and his voice come in different times. I think sometimes, like, I was talking to my beloved and God started talking to us through a bird. Like, we talking and we like having like some real, like a man or male bonding moment about like real men or male emotion. And like the bird just started sounding off in the background. Like, and then the bird on my side, and mind you, everything they in different states, bro. And I'm just like,
everything is frequency, man. We're all frequency. We're all that.
And energy. I'm starting to pay attention to shit like that.
And that's how you magnetize or attract certain energy, yo.
These celebrities gonna keep me fucking distracted. Instagram gonna keep me fucked up, bro. My algorithm, no matter what I search, is keeping me fucked up. Like whenever I go on there.
I was just about to say, it depends on what you're looking for.
My G, that's bullshit.
It goes off
when I went to Houston, my explore page just changed without me touching nothing.
So what's all Houston shit?
It wasn't Houston shit. It was just different shit. It was cars. It was like fucking guns and all of that. But over here, it's sneakers, ass, and then it'll sprinkle a few firearms. And but it's like ass. And I'm like, yo, I don't even follow that many pages, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend anymore that you follow powers that be.
It's the algorithm.
It's the algorithm, but if you follow one or two, then they gonna
hold up.
It picks up where you at.
I'm going to operate in a space now, right? Even though I know that there's obstacles in place, I'm going to pretend like they're not even there and see how far that get me. I'm going to be like, yo, yeah, that's there, but fuck that.
Yeah.
Because in theory, right?
Keep it moving.
In theory, there's nothing stopping none of us from going to school. Even us as adults from going back to school right now. Is it? Yes or no?
No. You get the money enough for it.
Because truth be told, depending on where you live, especially if you're in New York, you can go to state school for free. You just got to agree to work in the city for 2 years after that. It's the same shit in Essex County.
I didn't know. I'm not in Essex County, my nigga.
It's not. That's not what I'm saying, though. That's not what I'm saying. I found out about that free shit, about the school shit, like maybe like 4 years ago with New York. And I'm just thinking about how many beloveds are running around the city right now and don't know that they could go to school for free. They just got to work. Yo, bro, 4 years have passed you before you know it.
I know.
4 years pass you slow when you locked up. Time moves slow when you locked up.
Better school than the penitentiary.
Better school than just
Running the
stagnation,
streets.
period.
Right.
Which led me back to my conversation about Section 8.
Mm-hmm.
To any beloved that might have been offended about my last comment about being on Section 8 for 10 years and not having nothing to show for that, I apologize. But I stand on the fucking idea, bro. That shit is supposed to be a springboard. And if you're not using that shit to get the fuck up, that's like your plug fronting you for 10 years, bro. He fronting you on every pack and you paying it back.
You playing with it, though.
But it's still costing him money to front you, especially if he ain't charging you points on the pack.
Yeah.
He ain't charging you an extra $2 for his inconvenience, especially when he got a nigga that'll buy that shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he might buy it for close to double. He just doing you a favor.
Right.
Looking you out.
What you gonna do with that, bro? And that's the space that
It be them niggas too.
My nigga.
It be your man.
Bro.
That bullshit with the pack.
Bro.
That you really want him to eat, man. He gonna make it bad for you.
And then make it weird why he shouldn't have to pay you back or some shit. So again, to anybody that I might have offended, I should have specified. But if you and your feelings, that struck the right chord because we got some work to do. We got work to do. I don't talk to nobody like, nigga, I'm good. Y'all niggas need to. Bro, we are all fucked up. And even if I make it to the space where I'm lit and my beloved's fucked up, at some point I'm gonna become a plate. Especially if I ain't in the space to help my beloved, so I ain't giving them like, yo, don't let their moms get sick.
Is that involuntary? Is that like? What I was gonna say, like involuntary extortion, kind of.
No,
does it feel like Does it feel like that? Because if you can't, if you feed,
extortion.
if you feed your man's right, and then now his people see that.
If I'm paying you anything, you gotta work for that shit.
You know what my beloved told me? And I keep referencing him, bro, because I'm thankful for so much game that he gave me, like, because I was green outside for a long time.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So when you get money, it's rules that come with this shit, bro.
Hell yeah.
Some of them rules is that you're blessed to keep getting money because you got shit to take care of and people to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like, yes, you're not just giving your help to everybody, but you that type of person that you possess the mental acumen already, that you already applying the filter on who deserves the help.
Yeah.
Or who's going to be appreciative of the help. That's better because deserving of the help is a gray area. But people who are really going to appreciate what you did and would be in that position to do the same for you if you ever needed it to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you shouldn't do shit based on whether or not they're going to do some shit for you. But niggas who really appreciate your help, they show you.
Mm-hmm.
They show you, my nigga. The ones that they show you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I met you one time, bro.
That's true.
And the game that you gave me about podcasting inspired me to just get back on my shit. And you could have just shut the fuck up and not said nothing to me.
I when I see someone that I was like, oh, you're natural. Like, without the cameras, you're talking like this.
I tell niggas who not even natural to go do the shit, bro. That's the space that we need to operate in.
I got you, but I'm just saying when I'm sitting there, I was like, bro, you're like, to be honest, this episode you're running this, and I have no problem with it. But it's all about the content and the information, and it's all about where we could find a common whatchamacallit.
Ground.
Yeah, a common ground.
We all understand.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna. I don't have as much, but what I do have, I'll be like, yo, you should, because I didn't have motherfuckers to tell me this. I had to find out myself.
I need you to look at the shit that you have as having some shit. Bro, information is currency, bro. Information is currency, my G. Again, most times, we as a collective, as black people, we get in our feelings when niggas start talking about money. It's because it strike a chord. And if you start thinking about them times you done fucked off a bag and why you not in the space that you want to be, and then you start paying attention to the person that's saying it, and you get so caught up in the messenger that you're not even paying attention to the message, bro.
That's crazy. It's sad though that most people do think like that or would think like that.
I said before, bro, a lot of people hate to see me coming because they know whatever room I'm coming in, I'm absorbing information. And for the niggas that's gonna listen to me,
When you
I'm
come
gonna
in,
keep
when you
going,
come,
bro. Like,
wait. When you come, when you in the room, like when you come in the room with people, do you find yourself like
You already know.
being that motherfucker that's like kind of even not running it, but being like the spotlight of it, depending on what's being said? Or are you around motherfuckers where you just mostly just listening, observing, or you doing both?
I find myself in spaces of both because what ends up happening is that in the wrong rooms, I find people that will spend time arguing, saying the same thing that I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
If you run that episode back, me and this dude wasn't disagreeing.
But they were talking about the same thing for 40 minutes.
We were talking about it, and this is what I'm saying. Like, we will spend 40 minutes, an hour, 3 hours arguing about who's more right about the same shit, as opposed to being like, all right, we got that. Now what?
Right. But that's the issue about being right. And no, not just y'all. Because of social media, everybody wants to be right now.
My G, and that's
everybody wants to be right. Before social media, it was whatever the news said, whatever said. Right. Now that everyone has an opinion, everyone has to be right, bro. I know I'm the type of motherfucker that I try to. When I say shit, I research the shit I say. I might be wrong, but if you come across me, like if you tell me something that I haven't thought of, no,
not that.
No. But that's how they think. That's how they think.
You are correct
for the most part,
but it shouldn't be that way.
Shouldn't be that.
It shouldn't if it's
because majority could be information.
But if everybody knows, then everybody knows.
So my beloved told me to pick up this book before called Facing Mount Kenya, right? Because I was having like this dream of like being in a room of like talking to like niggas. Like I'm in a room with like big dogs, like gang leaders, bro, that got influence, and I'm just listening from a humble standpoint at first and just listening to niggas talk about how we get better. And I'm having this dream over and over again about what we supposed to do. And I'm like,
not to cut you off, my boys like the 40 Belows. Yo,
look at my G.
Bryce need to come back up in here. You and Bryce have similarities of how y'all talk. I would love to have y'all go on the pod.
So in the dream, they finally give me a chance to speak, and I'm talking from like this perspective. And at first, niggas is in agreement, like, yeah, we got to change the way we think, we got to change the way we eat. But then I start addressing like the accountability part of the shit that we do in our community. And like the climate of the room shift. And before I knew it, the room was against me.
Yeah, got you.
And it led me to the point that being right in the wrong room still make you wrong, bro.
To the
you know, my nigga, you know what fucks me up, bro?
The majority.
A lot of shit happens because of that.
I don't want to be right no more. I don't want to be right. I want to think in accordance. But I want that thinking to be positive thinking. And positive thinking don't gotta be like I'm putting on my kufi and being like kumbaya, but it's not leading to destruction. Andre made a very valid point. He said that I'm talking as if time is against me. Time has never been a resource that we have had afforded to us. The civil rights movement is only 57 years old, bro. And niggas are already like, yo, we got to push the hard reset button. Are you fucking kidding me, bro?
When did, because you said, why do people act like the shit changed in that short period of time?
Because it did.
A lot happened.
A lot happened,
bro.
That's true what he said.
How it goes.
The more things did say, but the presentation changed about it being the same.
Black laws, Reconstruction, all of that shit was, yo, bro, it was a nasty time. And while we were able to erect some cities and all of that shit and become great and all of that shit like that, bro, dogs. Some of us are living in some foul conditions and we are living foul amongst each other. And until we address that, I don't got to get into specifics, but rape happens in our community with black people more than it should. Now, if it was only happening to where white men or white or Asian men or any other culture was coming into our community preying on our women, that's one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you don't even have to listen to Minister Farrakhan. But one of the things he does say is that one of our most valuable resources is our women. So for us to know that and still operate in a different space like that, either we are okay with being hypocritical at this point.
My god brother had told me years ago, first he was like, you would be a great teacher. And back then I was like, yeah, whatever. But as time went on, I was like, I just couldn't do it in the same format as an actual teacher.
I don't got the patience for these kids.
No, I'm just talking about what you're doing right now. You're teaching.
Oh, thank you.
You feel what I'm saying? Like you're teaching without
information.
No. But that's listen. School doesn't teach you how to learn. It doesn't teach you how to learn. It teaches you how to memorize and regurgitate on command. That's all it does. If you do that, you'll pass. You'll be valedictorian. All that good shit. Here and there, in certain classes and certain teachers, you'll learn, but not specifically. They're there to do a job, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Mr. Morse.
Yeah, all day. Mr. Morse was going to talk to you after class and tell you what it really was.
I think a black teacher would have changed my life, like a black man.
Yes, Mr. Morse.
He would.
Mr. Morse was one of my favorites.
Don't piss down my back and tell me it's
he was in the army or some shit like that. Yeah. He would, bro, seeing me. I was the kid, quiet, hoodie down. I wanted to be cool but couldn't be, and he's seen me and the crew I was with,
bro.
And he would take me to the side and be like, "Yo, you got something special." He was like, "You got something special, bro."
The only black man that I can remember vividly outside of like a family member that like had like an impact on my life, bro. Unfortunately, was my probation officer.
Damn.
Yo, Mr. Jihad. Mr. Amin Jihad, bro. If anybody ever runs across him, him and one other person. And unfortunately, it was when I was locked up, bro, in Middlesex County Jail.
Damn.
Ashambu Briggs, bro. If I ever run, he was a dope fiend turned preacher. He was in there. Now, Ashambu was like 6'5", bro.
African nigga?
I don't know what he was, but this nigga was from New Brunswick. And niggas knew Ashambu. Ashambu was a nigga in the hood that they knew did dope, but you would never say, like...
You would never talk to him.
You would never say nothing to him because he will, like, rewire your whole shit, bro. That's how brolic this nigga was. But, like, he helped me give my life to God when I was in there, bro. And, like, he was like, yo, don't play with this, bro. He was like, first of all, what you doing, you playing with niggas that got nothing to lose. He was like, I see it in your face that you want more for yourself. When you said that shit, I was just like, damn, bro. Like, how the fuck he see that and I don't?
When you come across a black male that shows you he really cares, it hits on a different...
Nigga, he ain't know me from a can of paint.
But
I wasn't even locked up that long in there. I was only in there for like 31 days.
You know what happens? And you know, when you get older, you see this. He sees himself in you, so he's able to talk to you in a manner.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Either if you mature enough to catch it or not.
For sure. That's true.
Or how you process it. If you process it then or a little later or later.
Which is leading me back to my point about us being so caught up in the messenger and not paying attention to the message. Because the reality of it is that a dope fiend got so much game to offer.
You can learn more from a dope
drunkard.
Or a homeless person.
The homeless person can give you life game, my nigga. Like, and
the experience they've been through.
You ever listen to an album as a youth, but then listen to it later on, and the messages just hit different, and you like, wait, what?
The Tupac song.
You like, wait, what?
Right.
Go listen to.
Tupac was 25, bro.
My nigga, 29. Go listen to So Many Tears right now. Like right now, bro, as a grown ass man, just listen to So Many Tears, bro. And then go listen to what we was just listening to into in the car.
Sucker for Love.
We do for love.
We do for love.
Then go listen to Heaven Ain't Hard to Find. Off All Eyes on Me. Bro. And I hate to keep recycling this shit, but until we get this shit right, bro, like I stand on the idea. Like I remember when I used to sit in church I used to hate sitting in church, bro, because there used to be there used to be Sundays, right, where we used to be in church all day long.
Mhm.
We'd get to church at 10 a.m. and not get out, especially having them double services. We
Yeah,
wouldn't get out until like 8 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Word, that's crazy.
But
Is
one of
Baptist? Is this Baptist or a different type?
Victory Temple, Holy
Presbyterian or some shit?
Holy Tabernacle. No. Look. I'm trying to remember the name. I'm trying to remember the name of the church that I went to to try to like remember the denomination. But the reality of it is that one of the things that I remember is that they used to read this scripture when they used to pass out the offering plate.
Mm-hmm.
And during the scripture, or a part of the scripture says, as a child, I spoke as a child, thought as a child, understood as a child. But when I became a man,
I put my
I
childish
began
ways
to
away.
put away childish things.
Yeah.
At what point
Do we put away the childish thing?
Because we talk that shit about men leading,
And a lot of us still do.
kings, and you said to me last time, like, you know, there's kings and queens. I'm like, yo, not all of us are. Oh, Andre said it, and I'm like, yo, not all of us are.
I know. I know that.
While people weren't meant to be ruled, there was still some people that
Not peasants, but they had to be the people.
they had to be a part of the delegation.
That's true.
While they shouldn't have just had the singular authority, there should have been like a delegation of other thinkers and philosophers.
That's the whole thing when everybody wants to be a chief and nobody wants to be an Indian.
Nigga, I don't want to be in charge. That crown is heavy as fuck, bro.
Would you like to be one of the people that the delegates that would your voice would be heard?
It's like you don't want to be in charge unless you have to be in charge.
I want to be one of the.
You know what I'm saying?
I would like to be one of the emissaries. Like you like everybody else is probably gonna talk to me like I'm the errand boy, but to the royal family, like you hold court with me.
Right.
We hold counsel in private and shit like
That's
that.
what I'm
But
talking about.
I have the authority.
You have some wording.
I got the authority though. I could just go about and do my own thing. Like I don't necessarily run a gang, but I got niggas that think like me. And if the king
run
need
everything
me,
is a lot of pressure, bro.
You know what I'm saying? If the king need me, I can
is.
muster the Rohirrim if I need to.
It is, but sometimes it comes to a point where it's like, all right, are you gonna let these niggas run it?
Word is bond.
Run it, or I'm gonna do this shit.
Word is bond. And I don't need to be in that position because again, niggas already got a problem with the messenger. They gonna be calling for the king's head to be cut off sooner than later. So before that, even if you want me to be, I'm gonna pass that shit to somebody else. I'm already had that conversation with the beloveds. Like, yo, let me go about doing what I'm doing, bro. You know, I got the kingdom best interests at heart. Let me do what I'm doing. Give me a little bit of authority to do what I can do.
Yeah.
Know that for big decisions, I'm gonna come bring them back to the house. I don't need that. Just let me have a little bit of insight before y'all make that decision. Because there might be a perspective y'all not thinking about.
Shit, we're gonna ask for your opinion before we do that. You feel me?
Bro.
I'm just saying, bro, like I don't want that.
I've had you on here, I've had other people on here that was like, I value your opinion.
Thank you, bro.
You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't like when you hit me up, like I was like, I should call him, I never did. But when you hit me up and we had that conversation, I was like, yeah, I should have been did this because we have more in common in how we think and then not lifestyle per se, but how we think than most would know. You know what I mean? Like I came up with motherfuckers that were thinkers and that was debaters and shit like that. But we all tried to play the role of y'all get all the bitches, I get all this and da at that time. And when I grew up a little bit more in my 30s, I was like, you know what? Fuck that whole play. Like, I'm not trying to show out for these motherfuckers. I'll show out for myself for what I want. And I'd rather have a conversation with someone like-minded like you than anybody else that's just running around, bro. So I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you for even thinking so, bro. This was God's timing, bro. Because, and the reason I say that is because if this happened any sooner, when I was way more emotional.
You told me like 10 years ago you would have been on
you know what I'm saying? I'd have probably been on camera
Some
like, yo,
crash
fuck
out
these
shit,
niggas.
the crash out
Fuck out of here. I don't give a
Crash
fuck
out
about
stuff.
none of you niggas. And honestly, I don't really
Calling
give a fuck
niggas
about
out.
nothing. I ain't tough. But nigga, if I need to make a phone call, like, that shit is counterproductive, bro.
It's all counterproductive.
And I say this shit and people
40,
laugh at me when I say it, bro,
41-year-old.
as a former pool putt, bro.
Oh, my bad.
As a former pool putt, my nigga.
What I don't know exactly.
I told you before, a pool putt is anybody that invests in selfish behavior.
Got you.
Regardless of who you stepping on and stepping over to get what you need, especially when it's including your beloved. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of my relationship with my mom's, it still should have never justified me going to her purse and stealing money, even if it was going to the arcade, because I was still stealing from my mom's. And unfortunately, the way society is nowadays, niggas look at the thief worse than they look at the snitch or the murderer. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm gonna let you just digest that for a second.
Yeah, I was looking at it.
But we all did shit like that back in the day.
That's fair. But
it's like a growing pain.
I'm not saying it's right or it's overlooked.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you wasn't the only one doing that shit.
Right. But what I'm saying is, from a personal level, I didn't like the way people looked at me. I didn't like the way when I was telling the truth about something. But because I stole, people automatically assume that I lied.
It's about yeah.
It was harder to prove, even if an injustice was doing.
I got you.
I remember, right? One time I'm down the hill, and down the hill is on the corner of North Main and North Main and Haledon Avenue. Okay, it's where the chicken store used to be.
Where's that at?
Patterson.
Okay.
Like right as you cross Lafayette Bridge. I don't know if you know where Torpedo Base is.
I don't know.
You don't know where Torpedo Base is? Oh, okay. But
I know a little bit more.
Most people know where Torpedo Base is at minimum. You know where Jay's Car Wash is?
Yeah.
Rest in peace,
Jay. Yeah, where the bridge is at, where the lady jumped off the bridge and all that shit.
Rest in peace, little Jeff.
I ain't gonna say no more.
Yeah.
His family was running
that corner right there by that chicken store, bro.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Right there across the street.
One night, I'm down there after me being outside and thinking I made my little couple dollars for the night, and I'm waiting for my food, about to go walk up the hill. It's because my mom's lived in Prospect Park.
Gotcha.
Oh. I'm standing there, and this young lady that I used to deal with comes in, and her sisters come in with her, and her sister pregnant, but they are running from a bunch of other girls.
Oh, they about to fight.
Yo, bro. These girls are about to jump this girl while she getting pregnant. While she getting pregnant.
Right.
While she getting pregnant.
That's all.
So this young lady is pregnant. She's about to get jumped. And I'm standing here in this fucking chicken store like,
what the fuck?
There's no way I could just walk the fuck out. So my peoples is right outside. They are waiting for me to come outside anyway, because they was waiting for whatever. They was waiting for me to come outside.
With the chicken.
With the chicken.
At the chicken spot.
You know what I'm saying? So I go outside to them. I'm like, yo, listen, take them girls home, bro. Like, this about to get crazy outside. Take these girls home.
Gangster.
I'm pushing them in the car. You know, I forgot what kind of car he had, but whatever it was, he had to like lift the driver's seat for them to get in the back. It wasn't a coupe, but it was a long vehicle.
Was a 4-door, but it was tight.
It was, bro. It wasn't a 4. I forget what car this was.
It was some type of.
Imagine it might have been like
had to be a coupe.
That's how my Thunderbird was.
Yeah.
Imagine. Let's say, for example, it was the Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Right. So, you got to lift the back seat, push them in the car, then wait for whoever to get on.
Like,
bro, she's pregnant. So like, she's showing, if she get into a fight, she's going to lose this baby.
Yeah, it's over, yeah.
I'm pushing them into the car. In the process, and I'll never forget this shit, bro. My Mesquite hoodie. Remember Mesquite?
Oh, shit.
Niggas pull my Mesquite hoodie.
This shirt is not Mesquite, but the dude that made Mesquite, this is his partner, my nigga.
Fire.
His partner used to make shirts for me. Go ahead.
Look, these niggas pulled my hoodie over my head, and I didn't even know it. I just feel the punches all on me, and I'm just like,
you trying to get in the car?
I'm trying to push them in the car.
Oh, okay.
There's no room for me in the car.
Got you.
I'm just trying to get these bitches out of here because I don't want these bitches to go to jail. Number one. Look,
got you.
That was from the video. That's from the video shit.
It threw all the way up there.
I ain't want these bitches to go to jail for beating this girl up or causing a miscarriage or whatever, or potentially killing her. And then I ain't want her to lose the baby. So I'm trying to push her in the car. Yo, bro, in the process, they beat me the fuck up. But short of the long, when I'm walking up the hill after that, I just feel like this burning sensation.
Damn.
And son, no bullshit.
They cut you
from here. You see this right here?
Damn.
That shit went up to right here.
God damn.
Niggas cut me with a steak knife. I go home and tell I know the story is long-winded, but the short of the long is I go home and tell my beloveds. I ain't gonna say who I told about it, but I tell my beloveds about what happened, and they told me, well, I shouldn't have been there.
Oh.
And I'm just like, wait, so you just didn't hear the part that I potentially like saved the baby? Which I didn't like think about until like later. It just was instinctual. This shit is about to get funky.
Would you have the same whatchamacallit if you didn't know the girl though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's crazy, bro.
Okay, I got you.
That's crazy.
Just trying to de-escalate.
You know what I'm saying? Like that shit's crazy.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And if I would have thought in hindsight that me trying to get them out the way was going to get me cut,
would you have still done it?
I survived. So what's up? What's up?
But most motherfuckers ain't thinking. Look. I always come with that because you're an exception to that rule. You thinking about other people other than yourself at that time.
It was girls.
Yeah, it was one girl, and no. It was a group of girls, and one of the girls just happened to be a 6'2" dude that thought he was a girl. Those of y'all from the town are gonna hear this story, and y'all gonna fall the fuck out because y'all gonna know who I'm talking about, and y'all gonna know I ain't talking shit, and I got the scar to prove this shit. Like, and I pray that baby is okay. But wild shit is, what if I'd have risked my life for that baby? And for the, not saying that the mother did that, but what if she would have like disregarded that child's life and just had that baby subject to some fucked up living shit. And shit?
And I think that's,
what if I'd have lost my life trying to save that baby?
I think that's what. That's where the so-called black community has an issue, right? Because we're not. Because in the community mind state, you're thinking, oh, okay,
I'm always gonna die to save the babies. I will always die, and I will always kill to save these babies, bro. And I mean that shit. And I'm not a violent person. But some of us are a detriment to our babies, bro. And if we sing Whitney Houston, the children are our future, but we are literally preying on our babies that are literally the essence of our future, who are not having no financial acumen to where they're going to get a bag, or some of these young people got bigger bags than we had at our age. And instead of them, not saying that all of them, because some of them are really smart and they doing some really smart shit, right? But some of them are crashing out too. Mm-hmm. And there needs to be more of us that's doing some lit shit than crashing out at this point. Because numbers wise, we can't afford it.
Gotcha.
We can't afford to sacrifice 5 million of our own right now. Or ever. We don't have to.
But are we?
We are. We are, bro.
Most of us aren't.
Bro, we are.
No, we are
niggas are not even can't even do that.
This is about to where I'm about to ruffle some feathers. And this be the part where I don't give a fuck, right?
We're gonna go right into that after.
Niggas who are selling fentanyl in the hood are a detriment, bro.
Yeah,
you are a fucking detriment to the community.
What is the thing with fentanyl?
I don't give a fuck what it is, bro. My son, when he got surgery, was being treated with fentanyl for the pain. And when the doctor showed me the amount that he was given because any more would have killed him, I immediately thought on how niggas is stashing this shit where our babies play and go to school and take naps and shit like that. You are fucking detrimental. And you can have a problem with what I got to say about it, but I promise you, my beloveds will stand 10 toes on that shit, bro.
That shit is wicked.
I don't give a fuck about what you got to say about that. We are a detriment to our community, and it is impossible.
Epidemic, bro.
It's impossible. And we can get into whatever after this. Mm. It's impossible for us to talk about accountability for everybody else, to talk about reparations for them paying for what has been done to us, for to talk about how the Chinese stores may profit off of us and not contribute to the community, the Arabs or the Hispanics with the liquor stores, right? But like, we can't talk about the shit we doing in our community. You sound fucking crazy, bro.
Because we always want to point outside of where we like.
Niggas need to grow up. Niggas need to grow up. You care more about celebrity. Not all of us. I'm not talking about all of us.
Well, to go into play
the ones that have influence, though, they spend more time talking about the 20v1s and the relationships and celebrity gossip instead of telling niggas about what the fuck monster they dealing with right now.
We have issues when it comes to certain policing in the hood or policing with black people, right? And then it's going to be a whole march or a situation like that. And then what happens is we're still killing each other. Maybe not I don't know at what rate, but it's showcased more than any other culture, right? So because they put us on the screen with 5 o'clock news, this happened, right? That's how America sees it, right? And to pinpoint to the situation with the Carmelo Anthony situation, not the basketball player, you know what I mean? I've been going through a lot of comments and shit, and the I call it the open racism is just pouring out. It's just seeping out of people right now, whether they think they know it or not. It's seeping out, but it does have a point to: is it our fault for what we're doing, which it is, or is it more the media fault for publicizing?
It's both.
You know,
I'm asking you, bro.
you know how you stop racists from being able to be racist and just putting them in a space to where they're just prejudiced by getting money, making sure your people lit. They can only talk about us because they can talk down about us.
They still talk shit about you anyway. You can be up. They're gonna still
Even
put
then.
you in there getting all that.
Even then.
If you do something,
Even then.
if you do something,
Again,
you lit.
racism is the system in which people privilege from oppression.
that's true.
If
That's
I
where
remove
oppression.
the oppression,
We are the
factor,
oppressed. If you're not,
now just prejudiced towards me, and you just don't like me based on whatever. And
poor black people can't be racist because they have no oppression towards anybody else.
And
They're
the light
prejudiced.
on racism is now going to turn into a halogen bulb and just show you just how ignorant and small-minded you were stuck in your thought process.
Absolutely.
Instead of me screaming like, I love you and I want all people to live like mankind. You know what make you respect me more than anything? When I hop out whatever the fuck you driving to and I pull up and I got the same zip code as you too. And I'm not a rapper and I'm not a ball player. Nigga, and you're like, oh, so what do you do? Mind your business. That's what I do.
What Andre said last time. What Andre said last time. He made a point, and as that week or two went by, and he was like, the kids now aren't as racist, but I gotta kind of go back on that, right? Because when he says they could go see NBA YoungBoy, right? But NBA YoungBoy is one of those people of privilege at this point, right? So they see him in a different light. Like these dudes I'm going back and forth with, if it's a known rapper, if it's 50 Cent, they ain't gonna talk that way about 50, or regardless, 50's gonna come at, but they ain't gonna just go at 50, say he's a this and he's a that, because he's a known celebrity, right? Right? Compared to somebody off the block. Now, if he does something, or somebody that's in the neighborhood, if he does something, then it's he's a thug now because he did it. Oh, he's a this now. You feel what I'm saying?
Michael, I always got something to say.
They play the victim role when it comes with that.
So I think that regardless of what, they are still entertainers. And regardless of whether or not they go to rap concerts or whatever the case may be, doesn't necessarily determine whether or not a person doesn't like a different race of people.
Got you.
I don't care if you like black people, but think Asians are beneath you. I got a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you like black people and like Asians, but you secretly hate Jewish people without any type
Don't say
of
the J word. Ish.
people that derive from a certain region or any region of the world.
Got you.
And you think that you're better than simply because of how you're born. That is an ignorant method of thinking to adopt in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
It is impossible for us to, it doesn't make any sense for us to be talking about we about to go talk to robots, but we can't talk to people.
Right.
But we're about to go use AI and like literally command.
Are we doing it, or the other?
We are effectively going to, yes, because there's plenty of black people who use Chat GPT
I got you.
Open Clip and all
That's
of these
true.
other, you know what I'm saying? Whether we
AI,
know we're using AI or not, Siri has been our AI for decades. We just didn't realize that. Now they call it Apple Intelligence.
The ring thing, and the whatchamacallit.
We've been dealing with AI for a very long time.
That's
our
true.
banking apps and everything like that. But the fact of the matter is this. We are the original computers. Is that accurate, or is that an opinion?
No, that's accurate.
We are the original computers.
You don't get
bro.
AI without the
Brain.
original computer.
Brain.
The internet was created so
The most
that computers
important
in this
muscle.
room can talk to computers in that room and then talk to computers on the other side of the world.
That's
Gotcha.
a fact.
We are now able, with the assistance of supercomputers, to now enable this computer to talk to this computer, to talk to that computer. But we spend time arguing. We arguing about whatever information is going to be uploaded onto these computers, bro.
Mm.
That's weird as hell. That's like the joke about Dave Chappelle when he remember when Pop Copy, when the lady walked in and was like, "This is Linux. Oh,
Yeah.
we only do
I
iOS."
remember that,
She was like,
the
"He
show.
brought the iOS. Oh, sorry. If they tell him you got iOS, tell them we do Linux. And if they have both, tell them fuck them." Like, it's literally how we are right now, my nigga. We arguing about relationships, and no other culture argues about how they share their money. They argue about how they gonna preserve their money. They argue about if they're gonna marry into some bullshit that's gonna jeopardize their money.
Mm-hmm.
We the only ones. It's like, yo, we don't need life insurance. Nigga, that's free bag. We know niggas gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
We know niggas are gonna die. Why are we not gonna put ourselves in position to benefit? Benefit is a bad word.
Do they feel like the bag is coming automatically? I think that's where the standard dude on the block is seeing.
What do
right?
you mean? What
Are
do you-
they seeing a tangible benefit at a certain time? I'm asking you. Do you think that? Because I think that's the reason why we don't get into a lot of things that, like in the last 10 years.
Niggas want instant gratification.
Yes,
They want it
like
right
in
now.
everything.
They don't want to wait. They don't want to invest.
I'm telling you,
so as
as a
somebody-
person that I've been a victim of this, so I know, like I think that's where the thought process is mainly.
as somebody who had no concept of what investing was because I didn't have shit to invest and shit like that. I'm learning too, like there is a science in keeping people consumers and keeping people in spaces to where you keep spending money with me. Like it's like the sales tactic with like the plug now, how they give us the packs in cereal boxes or the crafty packaging. They ain't giving us different weed. They just giving us a different pack.
Yeah, the designer joint.
It's literally
the same bud. It's the same whatever bud it is.
It's literally
It's the presentation.
It's literally the same concept, bro. And it's
They dress
hard
it up.
if you don't escape or even be able to recognize that there is a psychology to people advertising to you, or like they're targeting certain commercials to you.
Got you.
Like you just like money's ever just burned a hole in your pocket. It's burned a hole in mine plenty of times. Like I might have gotten like $500 and I didn't know what to spend my money on, but I knew I had to spend my money on something.
Yeah. That's the mind state. And then the dollar doesn't stay in your pocket past that time.
More importantly, the dollar don't even stay in our community because we spent
That's
it
what I
at the
meant.
sneaker store. We didn't pay ourselves first, which is saving some bread, bro. Like and
or
again,
investing in
Putting it
something.
towards something.
if the cool niggas that we looked up to, right, was telling us as shorties, like, yo, listen, pay yourself first, bro. Pay yourself first. Not put some bread aside so you can always take a woman out, but pay yourself first, bro. Love yourself.
Invest in you.
As opposed to being like, yeah, these bitches just gonna want to take money from you. Yo, if you learn to love yourself, you're gonna be able to peep shit like that already. You're gonna be on the lookout for people that's trying to get over on you.
Got you.
And it shouldn't have took me until my 30s to like get that game.
But sometimes
it's important.
Yeah,
I'm thankful that my journey it hasn't been worse than what it is. I'm thankful them L's and them setbacks haven't been nothing that I couldn't recoup from.
Right.
Yeah.
But it could have been so much worse. I stand on too the idea once my wife said it to me, God watches out for fools and babies, bro.
Absolutely.
Like I think about them. Yo, bro.
Niggas didn't know any better.
I remember there was a time, right? I went to the city to go cop bud. And the nigga that I went to go cop ball. I didn't know that, but he's just like, yo, I'm going to go cop. I'm going to the Heights thing and I'm just going to give me a little 50 sack. Bro, this nigga's taking me to the building. Poppy standing. Beep, beep. This is back when the church. Beep, beep.
This is the olds.
We get in the elevator. Niggas standing at the top of the elevator. Beep, beep. Niggas on it. We get to the inside of the door and niggas with the walkie-talkie. They talking to each other, bro. They open the door. It's a big garbage bag, a bud on the table. But you know how New York kitchens is set up, like how like the table might be right there. You turn right around, it's the countertop, the sink, the soap, and all that. Big ass chopper on the fucking countertop. As soon as you walk, and you know how New York apartments is. You walk in, it's the kitchen and shit first, and then it's the living room
right there,
bro. They had us sitting in the living room, bro. I'm sitting there like,
you nervous as a motherfucker.
they like, yo, what you want? I'm like, yo, I just want some weed. They looked at each other. They just tossed that shit on the table, gave my man what he wanted, and then we went out of there. And I'm like, yo, nigga, I had no idea where the fuck I was just stumbling into just to go get some fucking bud.
You thought you was going to bud from somewhere else.
Nigga, they had everything in there. And bro, and being in the wrong situation and not being green could have got my wings clipped.
Mm-hmm.
And what the fuck up story they would have told my mother?
Yo, he was in, so he got into some blah, 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 blah.
And unfortunately, I just told you what just happened about me trying to save a baby. So if they heard I was in the trap and I got my wings clipped, what you thought the narrative was going to be? That my family would have believed, let alone the news.
The news anyway, present it.
Let's talk about Young Beloved, because that shit is wicked. Young KARMELO, bro, that shit is wicked, man.
Yeah, man. It's bringing a lot of things to the surface. It's getting nasty outside with that.
What are your thoughts on it?
This is the one thing that's got me really emotional, because as a person that I moved out here, I have a lot of friends that are white, and I don't call them my white friends because they're just my friends, right?
For sure.
I don't see them in that manner.
That's right.
But I always knew there was this passive aggressiveness that went with this bullshit with certain people. And first of all, the one thing is true. Like I've done it. A lot of people online do it. Everybody's talking like they were there. That's number one.
That part.
That's number one. We weren't there, right? Nobody's seen it. Until we see a video or some shit, we don't know exactly how it went down. Now, a lot of black people, and there's certain black people just like, oh, he killed this dude for a seat, so they're on that side of, oh, put him in jail too. There's those black people, and then there's black people that's like, these kids was a bully. And the thing that is funny to me, right, as this happens, Ryan Coogler is on interviews talking about the new movie Sinners, with Michael B. Jordan that's about to come out, which I think all black people need to go and fucking watch.
The vampire flick,
yeah,
right?
This is like Dusk Till Dawn with like purple, color purple type of feel, right? I think we all need to go and support. And the one thing he said, because he had Michael B. Jordan play twins, right? And they got this ill technology to make it happen. So one thing he said, he said he went back to the Bay and he had he said every hood has some twins, right?
Right.
So he went to the twins, and the twins actually are some white dudes, right? But they're filmmakers now. And he was like, he went to the twins, and what he said about the twins was, he was asking certain questions of how they do everything. And he says, what happens when y'all get into a fight? And he says, he said, have y'all ever fought like just one, like without each other? He said they fought each other, but outside of that, they always fought together.
Right.
So when I'm hearing this, and then I'm hearing the other twin, the boy, I forget his name. I don't want to, the white boy that's on there, and he's giving the sob story about how the brother didn't really do anything and just told him to leave, and he was in his seat and stuff. And then you're hearing the other side about how they were bullies and how they put their hands on Anthony at some point, which stirred up the whole issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, like, if I have a twin brother, we fucking fighting together. We fighting together.
Right or wrong?
You do that with your boys, right? Have you done it? Whether right or wrong?
I'm gonna be real with you. Thankfully, I haven't been in those situations to where like it was
10 years ago, if that were to happen with your people,
Definitely fight.
Yeah.
Right?
But now that I'm older,
but these are not old. These are 17-year-olds.
Now that you older,
these are 17-year-olds.
that
energy.
fair.
that I'm
That's
a
real.
football player.
I forgot all
I'm
about
a
that.
pro
They're 17.
with
Yes.
twins.
Yes, they're fighting.
The school loves
They're
me.
fighting.
I run this shit. Why didn't I go get somebody to get this kid out the way? First of all, you're a football player. Why are you at the track meet? This kid is there for the track meet, and they said he's able to go. He's able to go to different tents at this time, right? So there's a whole bunch of back and forth. We don't know the actual issue,
Right.
but as it being white and black, or black and white, as they say, right? You hear that a black male stabbed and killed a white male for hardly, quote unquote, no reason that they're presenting. And then the father says this has nothing to do with race, when definitely everything in America deals with race. I don't give a fuck. I don't know about the rest of the world. I know the rest of the world has their race issues.
Especially when it comes to certain places too. Like
We talking about Texas. Wasn't Texas the place where they forgot that we were free for 2 years, and that's how you get Juneteenth?
Well, yeah, they forgot.
They forgot.
Oh yeah.
They forgot shit.
So
that's where I stand very like I'm gonna tell you that I'm on some. If you say something slick,
Go on that.
yeah, I'm on that. I ain't gonna even lie. I shouldn't be.
all right, so we could address that side first.
If you're gonna say something slick, then I gotta.
We could address that side first. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm giving them a whole
effectively being one of those young people, right? Like, so as a young person at one point in time, being in high school, yes, we would have fought. However, looking at this situation now as a parent, even knowing how the law look at shit, right?
Word.
This is how we gonna look at this. No matter how opinionated we might feel about this shit. Number one, there was no reason for any weapons to be present on school property.
Gotcha.
That is not only against school policy, but they will call the police on you, bro. And I'm telling you for fucking experience that I've gotten the police called on me at school by having a knife because I worked at a shoe store and I was opening boxes, bro.
You had the box cutter?
I had a pocket knife.
Oh, you had the pocket?
Bro, I had the knife. You know when you used to go into the corner store and they used to have the little plastic bin and they used to have the little knives that fold out. It was like the little triangle blade, but it was like that long.
Yeah.
I got possession of a gravity knife. Possession of a gravity knife.
Used to flip.
Possession of a gravity knife, bro. And I was able to buy this out of a store that was across the street from my house. Now, we could talk about the fact that I had a job at 15 and 16 instead of being a student, but that's neither here nor there. You get your working papers at 14. It don't matter. Or 16. It don't matter. This is one of the things, like our mode of thinking, like our children, our children's job, their only job besides doing chores in the house should be a fucking student, bro. That's it. They should not have to fucking work, bro. And they shouldn't have to pay me. Now, if I'm teaching them financial responsibility, that's different. I'm paying them for doing chores, but then I'm asking them to contribute to a bill, not knowing that I'm taking that money and going and putting it in an account for them.
Gotcha.
I got to pay PNC&G without them.
Right.
Even if they wasn't here. For me to put that on them is fucking unfair, bro. Right. Like, it's hard for adults to even work and go to school at the same fucking time, but you're going to send teenagers to do it?
Yeah.
Because you think they got more energy? That shit is unfair.
And you're coming from a parent standpoint too.
I'm coming from just.
Listen, let's get this clear.
Going to work, bro. This summer.
Now,
15.
Over the summer, that's different. Him having a summer job is different. Him working a job during the regular school year is crazy.
He might do that too, though.
Let me see.
If he's capable of handling his grades,
I got my first job at 16. I was pumping gas.
You can't be because I was pumping shit.
I was pumping gas after work,
but you're not really doing shit.
I was pumping gas after work and the weekends, right?
You can go get some money.
So I will say this: I can't tell nobody how to raise their children.
That's true.
Yeah. I can't tell you what works for your household. Now, if you need to send your child to work, while I may not agree with that practice, that's your business. But I personally feel that before I send my child to go to school, I'm gonna go get 2 jobs. I don't want to, but I'm gonna go. And honestly, with remote and hybrid work now, nigga, like, what are you talking about?
The house. I think. All right. Thinking of it now, like I don't want to come off harsh, like the boy should have died. Like I feel for his parents. I do. Right. It's just a different type of feel because and I come from a radical state of mind, I guess, because that's just how I always kind of felt. It's like they don't
children, bro.
I know it's children.
They are children.
They're children, but
while I understand too that children are capable of killing other children,
there's
still just so many other questions that I'm asking, and even though I'm asking those questions, where we currently are is that this young man is facing a murder charge. Should he be charged with murder? No, but they're going to try to argue that because they're going to be like, "Why'd you have the knife?"
And then,
they're going to argue that, not saying it's right.
There's talk of quote unquote the young victim having said something showing an automatic rifle or online saying if so and so is at this track meet, you know what I mean?
That's fair.
And they also there's back and forth about whether he knew him before or they had some interaction before, and that the fact that they was trying to rough him up and they destroyed his phone or whatever is a lot of talking back and forth. We haven't heard from Anthony or his family,
right?
But we've had a lot of talk from the victim's family. From what's online, they're showing that they have GoFundMes. The victim family has 2 GoFundMes. The father has one and the mother has one, right?
KARMELO has one too.
Yeah, but think about this is where the logic comes into play, right? The GoFundMe for the victim normally goes for the funeral services, right? Am I not correct? Or is it more? Because it looks like they're getting a lot more than what they would need for a funeral service, right?
Yeah.
Anthony needs his to fight his case, obviously, right? You would need that extra money and assurance so you have the representation that would be best for you. Am I bugging here?
Sounds about right.
Right? They have one GoFundMe for for Carmelo Anthony, and they have 2 for the victim. Now, why do you need 2? Now, obviously, people are going to give to the victim's family. I understand that. Why do they need 2?
So, from what I understand about GoFundMe, like, it's not GoFundMe that creates the GoFundMe. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying, why did they do just one base GoFundMe?
You know why they did.
Bro, regardless.
But see, me saying that sounds crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot of slick shit. And then for the father to say, and I understand, like, your mourning father, for you to say this has nothing to do with race. If this black kid stabbed another black kid, right? Do you think the wider community would have been pushing as much as, like, depending on where it's at? But if it's just that as a victim, are we shedding tears for the black mama?
So my theory,
as the community goes,
my theory as to why, like, people be getting on these cameras and be making these statements and shit like that is because, and I could be wrong, what I personally think is that somebody somewhere is in their ear telling them that they need to garner the support of the community and shit like that.
Oh, they're gonna garner
and one of the ways that you do that is by not displaying yourself in an angry or vengeful or a hurtful heart. If you show that you forgive your enemy, people are like, oh my God, God bless them. This is what America is about. So
even if he wasn't, though, I think he would have a certain support base.
Regardless of the fact,
I'm just saying that.
I think sometimes we get hung up too much on emotion, which is
we definitely do.
Which is natural. But we got to now, like, really look at some real shit and really understand why, again, they are charging this young man with murder. And while we may not agree with them charges, they are going to ask the first question, why the knife was there.
That's true.
Because even if it was presented online that there were threats about a gun
I
and
got
shit
you.
like
Those
that,
threats wasn't presented at that time.
exactly.
I got
So
you.
also the question is going to be asked, so why'd you go there if you felt threatened?
Right.
If you weren't a participant and you were just a spectator. Now,
it
if
was
you
a
were a participant,
okay.
again, if you felt threatened, what? So let me back up. My niece, and I call her my niece, even though she's not officially my niece, bro,
I understand.
is currently dealing with something at college right now. And while I won't go into the specifics of it, I will say that one of the things that we do not do is makes an authoritative figure privy to these situations ahead of time. If there is an issue, if there is a threat, if there is anything, at minimum, the reason we do that is so that when it's time to sue, we brought it to somebody's attention and they ain't act on it.
If this so-called individual is in a spot where, because the brother was saying that he could have been stealing something. That's where the whatchamacallit comes in of him being black. He could have been stealing something. He could have been taking something. He's in this area. Why couldn't the brother go to an official? He didn't go to an official too. They took it upon themselves to approach this individual, right? If you take it upon yourself,
That's what this is what they're going to argue. Amongst teenagers, they expect a fight. They expect disagreements. They expect brawls to break out over frivolous shit, right?
Yeah.
But on school grounds,
that's crazy.
School grounds, they don't expect anybody to get stabbed in the chest at a track meet, bro.
This is true.
And again, the argument is going to be whether we agree with it or not. And we have been sitting at that motherfucking table, and the prosecutor on the other side's job is to paint that picture.
As dark and as grueling as
they ain't never meet us a day in life, bro, but they will have whoever the fuck is listening believe that we did that shit and that we've been thinking about doing it and we'll do it again. That's just fact. And for us to know that and still operate in the space of ill preparedness.
And is this a reason why? Is this a main reason why you don't like? When the cops always would come about like, yo, get out the car. They be always hasty and always like their life is on the line with us. Maybe in the 80s, sometimes in the 90s, you might have had a couple wild boys that would shoot it out with the cops, right? Here and there you'll hear about it, but not too much, right?
Nah, niggas shot it out with the cops, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, New York City.
I said 90s. I'm not talking about now, though.
80s New York City.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They did.
But that set the precedent.
Yeah, but today,
bro,
they know that we're a muted pet when it comes to fucking trying to go. When the cops pull us over, we're everything. We're not trying to pretty much do that. The white boys, when they get pulled over, why you pull me over?
Nah,
they smacking the shit out of these niggas.
Young boys still going crazy, bro.
Ooh, young boys. We just had an issue with the Newark.
Young Beloveds is snapping, bro. Like,
is they doing it now? In the last couple years?
I think that we, period, as people, as a civilization, as the people that inhabit planet Earth, bro, are crashing out on so many different levels, bro, that it's nasty. The world has been on fire before COVID. We forgot that Venezuela was in riots. Their money is worth nothing. Paris was rioting before COVID. China was rioting before COVID. Remember, China was like literally showing us on TikTok how niggas would throw smoke grenades and they would go and dismantle the shits and then throw them back at the cops.
But is there more of a comfortability with all of them fighting cops other than us?
I don't believe fighting cops is the solution.
I'm not. Yeah, okay.
I believe
that they're the authority.
But they're doing it.
Right. I believe that fighting police at this point is serving to be more counterproductive than it is productive.
It's suicidal.
Simply because it's going to get to the point that they are going to justify them coming into our hoods and militarizing themselves more than they already have.
When did black people feel that they had I said this last time. I think that
how you ready to crash out with the cops, nigga, but you don't want to go to school and become a fucking politician? If you gonna lie and still do criminal shit,
man.
at least be a politician for us, nigga.
Right.
Get some shit passed. I am not condoning any of you niggas to get into office and do no criminal shit. But I'm just saying, if we gonna crash out
the right way. Crash out the right way?
We just running into the brick wall with no seatbelt.
Crash dummies.
Knowing what the fuck is gonna happen to us, and we like, nah, fuck it. This is what's gonna happen
to us
anyway.
But it all circles back to not being loved and not feeling like there's any future.
Yeah, but at some point you gotta love yourself, bro.
We just talked about
that. You gotta love yourself, bro.
And you just said it took you to your 30s, right? Or sometime in that frame, right?
Yeah,
and we're talking about teenagers that
I'm hoping that this right here,
yeah, I got you,
is helping them being like, yo, what the fuck they talking about? Love yourself. What the fuck they talking about? Love yourself.
They're gonna be like,
and they gonna start talking about that shit around each other. And they be like, yo, I think loving yourself might just be like, yo, what do you like? What do you dislike?
Right.
What's your favorite food? Not asking you, but like,
what makes you happy?
What right now that if you didn't have TV, video game, anything around that to distract you, what would like literally make you happy? Is it looking at animals? Is it listening to the sounds of nature?
Creativity.
Is it like sitting by water? Is it being by the beach and like really hearing the waves versus just like trickling water? Like, what the fuck make you happy other than like shit that will literally lead to your destruction, bro? Because too much alcohol will fucking lead us to alcoholism and bad livers and all that shit.
Yeah.
Too much weed smoke got us sitting here. And like, yeah, you might be able to fight when you need to, nigga, but your overall health and being able to, that's how I know none of these niggas is robbing banks. You ain't running 4 blocks with 50-pound bags, bro.
You can't even do that.
Get your ass out of here, bro. That shit is cap.
You gonna be on camera on every block.
That shit is you gonna be on camera first, but again,
you gonna be on camera regardless.
Possess the physicality to even do so.
Right.
And I'm talking about numbers wise. Yes, there are some of us who are absolutely physically fit and all of that shit. I am not condoning.
You're back in the gym. You're back in the gym. You back in the gym, right?
No niggas
don't
I'm just doing push-ups, bro. I'm just in the house doing push-ups, bro.
Yo, calisthenics.
I got tired of niggas talking about my dad bod. Niggas is like making it bad that I'm a family man and my wife is feeding me. Like, so I'm gonna show you niggas too. This is the last dad bod joke you niggas got. Watch this. Watch this shit, nigga. Like,
so when it comes to that situation, yeah, it's a very emotional piece. I don't know where we're gonna go as a people, as far as America is gonna happen.
Why he was by himself? Nobody helped him. Like,
we don't know. We don't see no video. Still, I want to see.
That's what I'm saying, my nigga. Yo, bro. Like,
they'll give us the Diddy video, and no disrespect to Cassie because that needed to be there, but they'll give us that. Why can't we see the video?
Oh, niggas got in trouble for leaking that. Trust me.
Well, that's why it's
not, ain't that right? That video,
ain't
bro.
That, like CNN did some slick shit, and now they can't use it.
Nah, niggas got clipped for that because that video was not supposed to see the light of day. So much so to where they tried to suppress it afterwards. Like, that shit wasn't supposed to come out, which causes me to question what else is on camera. Remember that young girl in Chicago that was caught walking into the freezer?
I researched that
documentary.
I researched
Chicago was supposed to turn that motherfucker up.
That's a fact.
I'm sorry. I am not condoning that any of you niggas go outside. And
well, that also wait.
That is going to jeopardize yourself. I'm only speaking from a personal place. That was also
in the.
That was a girl dad, nigga. I will burn this bitch to the ground, nigga. I watch my look.
Is the shrooms?
No, it's not, my nigga.
Watch that shit.
Until we get into a space to where this shit makes us mad,
but that's
before it hits our doorstep. Because she got to be our little girl too.
Right.
Because once she become our little girl,
well, wait a minute. Isn't that it? We become so comfortable and docile in our own destruction that we're not angry or whatchamacallit when it comes to that.
Niggas is only docile when it comes to that shit. I am watching niggas slide.
That's what I'm talking about.
Daylight.
I'm talking about
niggas is getting hit with 100 shots, 100+ shots. Niggas is getting babies are catching straight bullets
There's no
through
laws
buildings.
in the hood.
Because niggas is just hopping out of wherever.
They don't care
and
what
just
they had.
spraying wherever, bro.
It's a video game, it seems, to these young niggas, man.
And it's not just young niggas, because we know niggas our age
All right.
too that's doing dumb shit too, bro. We can't do that to them, bro. The more we talk about it's just young niggas, the more they like, yo, fuck them. We going in the other room.
But, all right, I'm saying that in the fact that do you feel that the young niggas are more carefree in how they doing it?
No, I'm saying damn to myself because my young beloved, now that I'm talking about our young homies, he hit me, but I was so caught up in my day, I ain't hit him back. And until like this, I don't ever want, yo, low bruh, I promise
I'm gonna hit you right after
I promise you I'm gonna hit you, bro. Now, again, if he would have hit me for just guidance or to keep him from crashing out, and because I ain't answer his phone, he crashed out. Who that's on? Yeah, I was busy, but I should never be too busy to help the little bros. I don't know what his phone call was about.
But
like my nigga, and honestly, I had to take a nap because I was like so physically drained and shit like that.
That's when I hit you and you took a while.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't know what this nigga's doing.
So this past weekend, I was a little bit under the weather, and I've been like nursing myself back to health and making sure I'm tip top and shit.
You was with some family recently?
Yeah.
I seen the cowboy hat was out there, the wild cowboy hat.
Yeah, but still, bro, we got a responsibility to our community. And the moment that we abandon that shit is the moment that we lose, or we've been losing. Everybody baby in the hood got to be our baby. But that way, when we see the little nigga walk in with no shoes and shit like that, not only are we going to get him off the street, but we're going to find out why the fuck they outside, bro. Is there, and prevent this from happening again.
It might not be in the whole hood, but is there a small village in the hood that you know of? Because that's what we need.
I ain't got one. I got my beloved scattered about. I'm not going to say that it doesn't exist because I've seen people with their tribes within the hood and they've been able to function and, you know, they run up on whatever and they can get something sold real quick. So it does exist. But numbers wise, it needs to exist more.
Okay.
I don't talk, like with me, I know I'm an acquired taste, so I don't expect everybody to fuck with me. And I'm okay with that. But everybody else, as a populace, we all can't adopt that same story because we need each other. Not saying that I don't need people, because the people that do fuck with me, they help me like you wouldn't fucking believe, bro.
You gotta attract the people that you need and be the person that you needed.
But I'm thankful that everybody don't fuck with me neither, because God forbid anything happens, I know kind of where the attacks are coming from now. It's easier for me to mitigate, pinpoint. Like,
I ain't doing you a favor. You don't fuck with me, good.
1,000%.
I don't have to fuck with you.
Also, just go back real quick on the Anthony thing. There's also news that when he was 14, he had saved another kid that was drowning in the pool, and he was considered a hero back then. He's from like Louisiana, some shit originally. I think it was out there. That's some news I just came across today. You know what I mean?
Babies are so valuable, bro. We are so valuable, bro.
We just need to see
We are so important, bro. We are so important, but we've been
indoctrinated.
Not indoctrinated, but so much shit has happened to us to where you ever have some good shit happen to you and you feel like you didn't deserve it.
Oh. Story of my fucking life.
Bro.
I don't think I'm good enough.
Me talking to my beloved.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't feel I'm good enough.
You were good enough for everything good that is supposed to happen to you.
Bro.
Everything bad that happens to you is a choice in some sense or another. Now, some things, right, we can't help. People passing on, transitioning elsewhere and shit like that. We want to hold on to them relationships as much as we can. I'm talking to my bro today, bro. You might have to cut this part out.
If you want me to, I will.
But then, fuck it. Honestly, it might stink. Me and my family don't have the greatest dynamic, bro. Like, even my cousins that, like, we used to cry together. And, like, we almost got locked up together and shit like that. We don't even fuck with each other no more. And, like, I'm like, bro, what the fuck happened? And it's not just me. I see that shit in... Yo, bro.
I think I was never good enough. I tried so hard.
There is no universe that we are never good enough to receive anything good that is supposed to happen in our life, bro. And for us to been tricked out that shit is fucking wild, bro. And it break my heart, bro. And I don't give a fuck about crying. Because, nigga, I'm a firm believer that if,
I've done this,
you know what I'm saying? Like, but there are so many black men who feel that they don't man, fuck this tissue, bro. Yo, tears are a gift, my nigga. I swear to you. You ever met somebody who can't cry?
In your soul.
Huh? You ever met somebody who cannot cry? For you to be in tune with yourself, to be able to cry, and then go defend your family if necessary, or defend your honor if need be.
I used to cry all the time, man. I used to cry while I fought niggas. I used to be wild.
Bro, we have been tricked, bro. Oh. We have been tricked. We have been tricked. We have been tricked to not feel. We have been tricked to not show love to our brother that loves us too, but we don't know how to be like, yo, bro, it's Tuesday. I love you, bro. And just go walk the fuck off. I don't need nothing from you, but just know that whatever the fuck you going through today, don't crash out, because I still love you, nigga. Call me.
Right.
Yo, Quayne, I promise you I got you, Brody. I promise you, bro. Life is real as fuck, bro, and we playing with this shit, bro. And I know you live, and I don't give a fuck about that shit, bro. We playing with this shit, man.
I don't give a fuck about what niggas say.
We playing, yo, bro, we are playing.
We're playing ourselves.
We are playing the fuck out ourselves. We doing a disservice to ourselves. We doing a disservice to our ancestors, bro. And more importantly, we are fucking our babies up, bro. And for us to not care is impossible, because at some point, my baby's gonna run into yours. This world is too small for us not to. It's too small for that. And for us to run into niggas that look like us and not be like, yo, bro, if some shit go down in here, nigga, I'm gonna toss this bitch up for you. But I know that you ain't gonna wild out neither. So we gonna have a valid reason to turn this bitch out.
Right. Together.
We ain't got that. This is why niggas join gangs, because niggas don't got nowhere to belong or nobody to run to when they got. Yo, my beloved told me that he became homie because niggas, the clan was busting his motherfucking head at 13, bro. Busting his head up against a brick wall and he had nobody to fucking help. Our babies should never fucking go through this, bro. And we should be willing to die about this shit. Especially if we're willing to crash out over Popeye's chicken sandwiches. Huh? Niggas is ready to crash out and over fight and shoot bullshit. The club up and shit like that. Like, this is the shit we should die about, bro. Because best believe these white people, these Asians will show you they will wear your skin for their fucking children, boy. They will wear your shit like a trophy, dog. You think I'm fucking lying? Let it ever come to be to where it's a question between our children and theirs, and they will show you in a fucking heartbeat who's matter more.
And they're showing us right now.
They will fucking show you, bro.
They're showing us right.
And we playing with our kids, my nigga. And as a dad, again, it fucks me up because my 21-year-old, me and him don't have that relationship that we should. I'm supposed to be giving my little boy this game, bro, so that by the time he's ready to buy his first house, he using somebody else's money to buy the house, not his own shit that I put aside for him. But I'm beefing, or I've beefed with his baby, with his mom, and you know that weird ass dynamic that the hood embraces so often. And again, if I wasn't so lusty as a youth, I probably wouldn't have been in that dynamic.
I just had a conversation with my mom.
I'm just saying, my nigga, is that facts or not?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I just had a conversation. I told my mom some shit, and she tried to say like I was putting it on her, but I was just telling her the truth. I was like, I hated my father because of her. Like, you're gonna always be a mama's boy. You're always gonna protect your mother. You're always gonna back your mother.
I'm not.
Well,
and I love my mom, bro. But love my mom.
But listen, most boys, depending on the boys, they will.
But I ain't got no relationship with my mom.
Depending on the circumstance.
Depending on circumstance, right?
Or ideal fashion.
What happened, I had to learn who my father was later on in life and respect that, because he was an asshole. He was a certain type of man, but what he did was he provided for the family, right? But I didn't see that because I felt like there was no love between me and him, right? So I always was arguing him, going against him until I got old enough, and I was like, you know what? I shouldn't. Because the one thing if I can respect you, it don't matter what you do. I could be like, well, he stands on what he stands on. He doesn't back down from who he is. That's when I learned, okay, I could be who I am and accept that. And whether these other people accept it is up to them. I don't give a fuck.
Did you see this recent episode of Raising Kanan, bro?
Yeah. The last one?
Did you see that?
Mm-hmm. You heard what 50 said at the end? I was like,
I don't know what part hit me harder. Like seeing, like, for those of you that might not have seen it, my bad. But like seeing what he heard at the end and him actually breaking down the part with Marvin and his mother. And
that shit was
like, I just sat there for a minute, bro, like fucked up. And I was just like, damn, bro, like.
And you know what's ill about that? You know what's ill about that, right? They always said the character of the mother was on some wild shit with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when they got her to the hospital, and what's the other brother, the one that was rehab, Lou. He was like, I can't watch her. I'll start drinking right after. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? And then when she asked Marvin, like, yo, I need you to take spoilers, whatever the fuck. I need you to take me out because I can't deal with this pain. And Marvin being the hitter, he's being the dude, like, soon as someone disagree with this nigga, he's shooting the nigga, right? So she wants him at the end to like drug her up to go to sleep, and he's like, I can't do it. And then
sorry, Marvin.
Like she started spazzing on him, calling him like assassinating his character and shit. But the point that I was making is this: like, now that I've lived a little bit, while I may not have disagreed with how my parents have raised me and shit like that, I'm not mad at them. I don't hate my pops.
Right.
I got a problem with my pops now that you have the ability to have that relationship, and so many niggas don't have that dynamic, and we still don't have that. It make me start to question, like, what did I do? And no child should ever, no matter if they fucking 4 or 44, should, unless they really did some shit.
Right.
But it's weird because I know some niggas on death row who parents still fuck with them in a sense. You know what I mean? Like,
is the Will Smith episode? Why he don't love me?
So I don't think that my pops didn't love me.
No, but it's how you. I'm not saying he didn't. My father loved me, but I couldn't receive that energy at that time.
What I think it is with our parents, bro, is that they were spending so much time trying to figure it out, and like we're trying to figure it out. The only difference is that we got the internet to help us when we don't have. Excuse me. When we don't have other family to assist. When we used to have like the peoples to call on and shit like that,
my aunt.
We kind of got the internet to kind of help us through. Like doctors are a little bit more accessible and shit like that. But them not having the tools to be better parents, it's not necessarily their fault. And that's just some real shit. Like, we got to get over that.
Yeah.
We got to get over that because
we got to be the best that we can be.
I'm not a perfect parent by far. I yell at my children sometimes when I get frustrated, and I got to be like, yo, dogs, I can't do that. I can't do that to them.
Sometimes you got to do it, though.
During that time, it was unheard of for parents to be like, well, let me be cognizant of my child's feelings.
Right.
Like, maybe they are little people too, and they do have feelings. Like, it was literally like, yo, you got to do what I say because
I
like,
said it.
We trying to do some shit, and like, we need you niggas to chill out right now.
Right.
It's because I said so.
And it's do as I say, not as I do.
Yes.
And that is a horrible teaching model.
No,
we don't even like seeing our bosses at work being like, well, you guys got to work hard, but this nigga's always on vacation.
You correct.
He's always out of the office.
I mean, hey, the boss is the boss.
Even still, though, you're setting a horrible example for your troops. Horrible. They don't see you in the office at all. They don't see you working at all. They only see you playing. That's a horrible business model because no successful businessman only place.
Well, I mean, if he's either blowing a bag or he's successful enough to make those plays, and those people have to work hard in order to
How you
live
win?
like that.
How would you win a war though? Would you show your troops that you are while they're fighting and all of that
you're
shit?
supposed to be
Are you
with
going to
them.
show them that while you're on the battlefield with them, you're still on the mountain and you got troops guarding you and you're eating well?
That's how they used to do it with the whole.
You know what I'm
shit.
saying? Or are you going to make sure that while you're padded, your soldiers is padded too, even though they down there, they still chilling.
You know what movie comes to mind when you say that? The first movie I seen do that was Glory.
My nigga, when your soldiers are fed and happy, they will die for you.
Absolutely.
They will die happily for you. More importantly, they will fight to live. They got something to live for. They want to get back to their spoils.
Right.
They want to get back to their beautiful women and their illustrious quarters and all of that shit. But what happens is, again, the soldiers see the general enjoying the fruits and spoils of the war and not sharing nothing.
Yeah, that's where the jealousy
they become
and the animosity, builds.
You can't do that, bro. It's like you being, again, translating that to the corporate world. You got employees that run a 24-hour business. You got niggas that work 3 different shifts for you. You talk about how much money you've made all year, all of this shit, and you don't give these niggas a Christmas bonus. You don't give them a day off. You don't give them nothing to be like, yo, thank you. Not even like
they just want the work.
You have to take care of your
you know what I'm saying?
A lot of times in certain areas is irreplaceable, depending.
Most places you're expendable as fuck, bro. And again, you should never feel like that with your home team. You should never feel expendable with your general,
your home team,
unless you're being insubordinate. Unless you're being one of those people
that reason
that's trying to incite a coup and get them out of there, or you don't respect their authority and shit like that. So, like I said, my thought process could be skewed. Y'all ain't got to subscribe to none of this shit. Y'all could be very well be like, yo, this nigga talking some bullshit.
Nah, we talked a lot of good shit.
But in history, it is shown the soldiers that were taken care of fought the fiercest, or the ones that were the most desperate, that had nothing
that
had nothing to lose. But why would you ever want to be in that position? You would absolutely want to be in the previous versus the latter.
Nobody really wants nothing. It
always breaks down. No, you got your different segments of people in a certain place, so you got to put people where they are. Sometimes these little stagglers is like, all right, we need to round all y'all up, and y'all.
That's fair, but when your population of the stragglers and the stagnant people outweigh the progressives, that's when your civilization is in jeopardy. That's when you're in jeopardy, buddy.
Sure. And that's how a lot of how things are going on right now.
It got to be a balance. It can't just be a whole society of philosophers and shit like that. You got to have some niggas that's a little wild too.
Yeah, you have
and
to have
let
that
them
wild
have their
card.
little region that they could squabble a little bit, but they got to know too that it can never turn deadly. It can never turn deadly. You can feud. You can settle your feuds through hand-to-hand combat and shit like that. But the overall focus is what we need here. And when we need you, nigga, we can't have it so to where y'all can't fight because y'all been fighting amongst yourselves and your arm broke and your leg is broke and my fucking I done lost the eye or some shit.
You can't be 100%
because we fighting amongst ourselves. We already got the space to get that shit out. We got to have the discipline to not turn it deadly. Damn, bro, I don't know, man. Maybe that's
how it should be.
We're gonna commence at another time with everything else.
Oh shit, it's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, it's the time is gone. I didn't know it was gonna go that quick, but we was on.
I mean, I don't, bro. Every time I come and talk with you, bro, it's.
What else you got? You ain't got a.
Yeah, man.
Listen, I had the. We talked
Drake.
But we was talking about so much more important shit. I was just like the whole Drake video.
Nah, hell no. I see you got Beloved on that board, man. Rest in peace, Young Scooter, bro.
Yeah,
I do have Young Scooter.
You got Beloved on that board.
Just did the Young
Ain't no way that we not gonna.
That situation. You said you was out there when it happened.
I was there when it happened.
Well, you wasn't there, but you was in the town.
That's nasty. That's nasty work.
Yeah, that's wild, man. That sounds like a whole lot of foul.
It sounds like the girl made up a story. She wasn't even in the area.
It sounded like he was swatted, bro. It sounded like he was swatted, and unfortunately, somebody lost their life behind that shit, and somebody else is in jail behind this shit.
And they thought that the cops was a shootout. They said that it wasn't the cops, that he did cut himself on the fence.
There's so many stories circulating and shit, and honestly, we live in an age now that even when you see some shit on video, you're gonna have to watch the video like 10 times to
Just
try
to
to
verify
gauge
everything.
whatever you saw. Either A, has not been generated by AI, B, what you seeing is actually what you see and not being doctored, or they're not even just gonna give us the whole video. They've had the whole video for not this
That's
instance,
really,
but any instance.
They'll have it.
The office of court or the court of public opinion is some dangerous shit, bro. Some dangerous shit, because you got a bunch of angry people that are angry in just society, period, now judging some shit that they feel that they're getting justice for whatever they're mad at indirectly through this. It's like, yeah, we're battling racism. Lock that nigger up. Like,
does that stop the violence?
There's no treatment no more for anybody. Like, there's no treating the problem. There's no like preventing the problem. It's just like, all right, we got the problem and we're gonna lock these niggas and then you're gonna forget about them and then there's gonna be another story to sensationalize.
Yeah, that's a fact.
R.I.P. Young Scooter. That shit is horrible. That shit was horrible.
That shit is nasty, bro.
Yeah.
White people don't got to do nothing to us no more. They don't got to kill us and wipe us out. At the rate that we're doing it, we're keeping each other dumb. We're keeping our women infertile because we always got them popping Plan B pills and shit like that through their 20s and their 30s.
Well, there's Planned Parenthood in the hood and there's fertilization in the suburbs.
There's also, listen, we could talk about Planned Parenthood, but we could also talk about sexual irresponsibility.
Oh, that's
we
number
could
one.
talk about how many niggas, listen.
I remember coming up in the time where, yo, get the condoms in the 80s. Well, when I saw fucking around, like in the late 90s and shit, but just in the 90s or whatever, that whole play has been.
How many niggas told you, hold up, youngin', wait.
No.
Don't fuck with the women yet.
No.
Go get your money right first.
No, I was with the niggas saying, get the pussy.
Bro, I follow this account on X that's called Dear Son. And it's like basically this dude like talking to like his younger self or talking to his son and shit. You see me sharing it on my stories sometimes. Most times they talking about having a woman is like a privilege, bro. Like having a car. Like if you can't afford to have a car, you might want a car, but you're not gonna be able to keep the car.
That's cool.
God forbid you get into an accident. God forbid you get pulled over because you can't pay your license or even pay your fucking insurance and shit like that, or just pay for the maintenance for the vehicle. Why would it be any different for any other, not bill, but it is another expense when you take on another entity? Like, why are you going to do that if you're not prepared? I get it.
Because
I get it, nigga. I was willing and ready to. Like, I wanted some buns too.
There's no difference than you get a whole bunch of money and you say, I'm going to buy this house, I'm going to buy this car, I'm going to buy this boat, but you got to maintain all of that.
Your first time getting buns. Were you happy about it, or would you have done it different?
No, it was
the first time that you've ever got that you lost your card.
Nah,
it was
a chick
your
that I
V
didn't
card,
want.
bro. The first time you had sex.
The first time you fucked.
Was it an experience that you was like, yeah, I'm really glad that happened, or you say you either gonna buy once and buy right, or you gonna keep spending money over and over and over again. That's why you pay a little bit more on certain products and shit like that.
Right.
And when he said it to me at first, I was like, but then I found myself in a space where I was replacing certain items 2-3 times over or buying a different variant because it didn't do what I needed it to do.
Yeah.
But if I'd have just spent a little bit more the first time, I'd have got something that did everything I needed and then some.
Right.
And I was just like, damn. And I think if we adopted it, yo, bro, I've had to talk to my wife because she used to go to like Walmart and shit and buy shit just like in like the $5 bin and shit like that. And I'm like, yo, you don't even need it. Why are we wasting money on shit we don't need, bro? And that $5 adds up.
You see it, you want it type shit?
$5.
Bro, it's $5 and the shit is going to break on you. Now, if it was $5 and it lasted,
right.
Can't be mad at you.
Right.
But if you gonna buy it and in 2 days it breaks. With my kids, sometimes they'll get shit and within an hour
gonna go through that
it's
shit.
broken.
They're going through that shit.
What was that shit worth the purchase? Like you don't even got a memory associated with it.
We're just
remember that it broke.
I think it
you remember that shit broke, bro.
I think we just come from that mind state of not having what we think we want. Sometimes we don't even want the shit. And we just be like, oh shit.
I had to go through that.
Shit.
I had to go through that. When,
you know what I mean?
When Nike reissued them phone posits, I went crazy. That's why when I looked at them, I was just like, huh. Because I remember the stealths, I doubled up. The coppers, I doubled up like a goofball, spending $400
I'll ask you a question.
at one time.
Are we getting it? Are you getting it? Are you getting it for yourself more than you getting for the stunt?
Oh, so that's
when
personal.
I was buying, like even now, these
Personal.
I have never owned a pair of 40s in my life.
I want a pair.
When I did want 40s, I couldn't afford 40s.
Uh-huh.
When I could afford 40s, niggas was being weird with 40s, gatekeeping and being like, nah, we ain't got them in stock. So now that I ran into them, I'm like, all right.
But that's something that I can see you never got a chance to get it and the opportunity presented it and you're able to afford it. That makes sense. A lot of times
you need those.
I need those
I learned,
right
and it's good.
The reason why too, like shit's like the 40s, I was just like, all right, let me snatch them. Is because they don't release them often.
Yeah, it's usually around like
I wear a very common size, bro.
See, that's what you 12, 13?
I wear size 11 in boots, 12 in sneakers.
Okay, I wear 12 in boots, 13 in sneakers.
Okay, yeah, I wear a common as fuck size. Yeah. Your size is pretty common too.
Well, I'm at the finish line, nigga. Anything past 13 is finding 13 back in the day.
Correct.
Back in the day, that was like trying to find 15, my nigga. You could hardly find the size. Bro, it was hard finding the size, and I had size 13 like the end of my high school years.
I think that everybody,
wide feet. I'm a Sasquatch.
Everybody need to get that shit out their system at some point. You know what I'm saying? Just realizing that some of the shit that you want, you don't need, but it shouldn't be to where like you like, damn, bro, I blew 50 bands, and I ain't need half of this shit. Or you don't have
what did it do
for
you
5 years from now. Now, if you spent 50 and what you spent 50 on, some of this shit is worth, like you spent 10 and that shit is worth 30, or you spent another 10 somewhere else or like paying your bills for 6 months or some shit like that. You put that money to good use.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But like, if you only sitting around with regrets, like, and I know niggas that have run into more money, like windfalls. They hit the lotto, they hit FanDuel, niggas got car accident money,
they
all that shit. They just wild out, and I'm just sitting there watching them. First off, nigga, ain't nobody sharing no money with me.
I remember when I got
not saying that you should have,
but they did.
But niggas ain't sharing no bread with me. But I was just a spectator.
You blow it.
I got money from some college school shit.
And when I watched niggas blow it, I was like, yo, if I ever run into some bread, I'm not going to be one of them.
That's a fact. Super fact.
And I blew unemployment money. I blew job money before. I've blown opportunities where I could have made more $100,000 a year, but I never like blew like a stack of money. Yeah, but I don't have to have a stack of money to blow it now to be like to do the right thing, bro. I'm gonna just be goofy at this point. Literally heard stories.
That's
bad
crazy.
Financial decisions,
bro. And at this point, what you gonna buy? Because again, niggas our age don't even go outside like that much. Nah. So I'm gonna keep these 40s for the next 10 years. Yeah, so I might have spent 200 on them, but if I keep them for 10 years, how much did I really spend on them? And they still head turners to this fucking day.
I told you, my boy was like,
even 40s. Old white men would just look and be like,
they like those.
They'll just point sometimes. The shits with the gold tree on them. Some niggas be like, oh, no, that's too... Bro, them shits was just my vibe. Let me get them.
It's a language breaker.
I want everything that everybody don't want now. Right. I don't want you to look like...
Even with the hat. Like, and look, I'm pretty sure you going places... Then you said you went to your family thing and started line dancing or some shit?
I walked into the restaurant yesterday or Sunday. What's like Sunday yesterday? Okay. What's today?
Today is Monday.
Monday. Okay. Damn, bro. I'll be doing so much sometimes. So Sunday, I'm at the beloved's birthday party. I walk in with my wife and shit like that. And, they notice my wife first, as they should. But they're like, oh, look at the cowboy. I'm like, damn, my nigga, I gotta be a cowboy. Bro, I'm not offended by it, but
Bro, what do you think you're gonna get? Especially when it's not, and you're not in an area where it's the norm.
I didn't take offense to it. I just thought it was
funny. Bro, when you put that on, you knew.
You knew what it was.
You knew what it was, bro.
I know.
Come on, man.
I know. Like, even when I was walking in Jersey City and I had the poncho on and the boots and shit, I knew niggas was looking like, the fuck? But
Desperado?
I'm wearing it on purpose. I'm wearing it because we are so caught up on fashion and we'll clown a nigga that literally can change our life. But because we roasted this nigga on what he got on and he heard it
I
He
think
like, nah, you know what? Fuck y'all.
I think
Yeah, that's a
I think
fact.
that
You know what I'm saying? Oh, you want to? Oh,
But
the older you get,
you want to roast my hokas, huh? Hoka this nigga.
but the older you get,
like it'd be just that, bro. Like,
the older you get, the less you give about.
oh no, I still care.
You do?
I still give a fuck about how I
don't-
dress.
No, I'm not saying how you dress. What their opinion about it is.
Oh yeah, I don't
You
give
know
a
what I
fuck
mean?
about
Yeah,
what
yeah,
niggas
yeah.
think of me
No,
now.
I'm not saying the dress,
but I
you
still
want to dress
like
the way
to
you want to
dress.
dress. Yeah.
Like I know a lot of beloveds my age, they be like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. I like, especially because I think it's because when I was going to school, I was the
Bro.
oldest of 5 children, and I had hand-me-downs from like my uncles and shit. When I was going to back to school, I was going in like baggy Beverly Hill Polo Club polos
I
and
used
shit. The New Balances was like this big. So now that I
Bro.
could get right, bro,
I used to
I'ma
dress
get
like-
right.
Yeah, right.
I used to dress.
I lost
Bro,
some time.
I
So
used to
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I feel you. I definitely feel you.
I used to wear shoes, a hat, a fucking what's the whatchamacallit hat? Not the bowler hat. No, the bowler hat.
Oh my god,
Bro,
I see you wearing a bowler hat too. That's
Bro,
crazy.
I have pictures of it, bro.
That's crazy.
I have pictures. I have
Yo, for
bowler hat.
Halloween, you should grow your mustache.
Oh no! If I let this
Like-
go out, it'll twist
Or
up.
like with the weed, yo, bro, that would be crazy.
When I shaved this down, but when I first grew out my beard, I let everything grow, and I was like, "Oh shit, my shit curls up like that."
You'll be the nigga from Meet the Robinsons, bro. Evil bowler hat guy.
Yo, bro, I used to just, but also it was a time when, not to bring it back to him, but the bad boy Puff Daddy, it was the whole dress up shit. So I used to come to Teaneck High with all the hats on. Like I would be only one of them niggas doing that shit.
I got tired of hearing niggas asking me where
Yeah.
the fuck am I going.
The fedora and all that shit.
I got tired
Yeah.
of motherfuckers trying to be funny and being like, yo, where you
I
going?
mean, I had
Dressed
glasses
like that.
too,
Nigga, nowhere.
like small ones.
Got dressed today.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you? When you start spinning that shit like that, like, nigga, I was taught to take pride. That's one of the things that I remember vividly that my pops taught me.
We
He
lost
was like,
that.
nigga, always take pride in your appearance.
We lost that as a people, like with the dressing up. It became more casual.
Should never look like what you go through, bro.
Mm.
Don't ever give nobody that ability to be like, yup.
He's down bad.
Don't let nobody know you having a bad day until you tell them you having a bad day type shit. You know what I mean? Don't wear that shit, bro.
Unless you just don't give
We
a fuck.
wearing enough. We are literally wearing like emotional baggage that keeps us slunched over. And shit like that. They say clothes make the man for a reason. When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good shit.
Yeah.
You
That's
do
true.
good shit,
That's
bro.
true.
With that.
That's true.
Go do good shit.
All right.
And
And
all-
look good while you're doing
And
it.
look good while you doing it, bro. That's it. And I promise you, the dynamic will shift. And the shit that we think that we look good in right now is whack, bro. Fuck them designers, bro.
And on that note, I'm gonna close it out. You know what I mean? We had a nice conversation.
Until next time.
You know what I mean? Back and forth. I like this, man. I like this dynamic. I like the conversations. I like how we draw off what we got and what we don't have. And we just spilling the real. You know
Next
what I
time
mean?
you covered on my battlefield.
Oh,
I've been to yours enough times. Next time you covered on you.
that's another that's another thing. That's another thing because how's that going? I meant to ask you.
Bro, I'm so thankful of the space I'm in. I'm only 8 episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
But the impact that I have been having on people that really listen to what the fuck I'm saying, they be like, yo, Rel, you doing good shit. And honestly, if I don't never make $1, the fact that niggas is like, yo, you doing good shit.
That's
I'm
enough.
Nigga, I'm talking.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd have been
That's
talking
currency.
to my beloved on the phones or some
The
shit
same
right
thing.
now.
And it's not
Right.
recorded. You're not going to
And
hear
we
that.
not
all y'all.
recording this shit. So at least now, like somebody who might be at 3 a.m. about to crash out, they like, yo, you know what? I stumbled across this short on YouTube.
Yeah.
I got my own shit, but I pull up on yours because now niggas gonna see me a little bit more, and I'm not talking no bullshit,
And now
bro.
that is it's cross promotion with yours, with mine. You know what I mean? That's how you have to look at it.
There's
and
so
they have
much
to see
money
you,
out here, bro.
and they have to see you in different aspects.
They have to see us.
That's true.
They got to see us.
That's true.
There's so much money out here, and there's nothing stopping from me doing your podcast Monday, doing my homegirl shit Tuesday, doing my shit Wednesday, going to go do my bro shit on a video conference Thursday, and on Friday we just have a group conference and we just record that shit. Like,
Right.
this,
It's nothing but time.
people
and
making it
opportunity.
bad that there's another podcast out there is weird. It's just that when niggas is up there arguing and being counterproductive, that's when it's like, damn, we don't need another one.
that's nigga shit.
We don't need no more relationship talk because niggas not trying to break that relationship barrier. They just want to argue. They just want to be like, well, men are right and women are right. Like, nigga, we both fucking wrong. How about that? How about that?
That's true.
We'll talk some more.
103.
Over and out.
You going anywhere new?
I'm high as a kite.
Oh, of course. You going anywhere new? You got anything pressed up, ready to go? Like, not right now?
Yeah, I'm working on some things.
Okay.
Working on some things. Some people. Shout out to my man in the A, Cash Too Lit.
Okay.
You know, he's from Detroit, but he lives in Atlanta.
Okay.
Fuck when you send me some music, we going, you know what I mean, do some work.
All right. You know what it is. And you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Claude Poe, Anthony, you know. Another great episode of the AWP Attention Horse podcast. You know what I mean? I'm not calling guests. These are my brothers right here.
Sure.
Like I said, you are welcome at any time. You're a co-host.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, bro.
20 joints, B.
That's fact. Ayers Court.
That is
Ayers Court, bro.
Ayers Court. Bro. That shit
That was
so
crazy, bro. Yo, bro. I was
Yeah,
thinking about that shit.
you didn't know the science back
I
then?
remember though.
I knew what the I ain't know the science about like life. I was green, bro.
Okay,
I was
okay.
looking for, and Bumpy was one of the ones who like didn't treat me weird because I was from the town. He always fucked with me regardless. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? He ain't mind me just sitting around and like sitting around him and his people and shit like that. He ain't never make it weird.
Okay.
And it just so happened that everybody else that I ended up running into was like, oh my God, you know Shane? Shane oh my God. Like, I love Shane. Like, it's like, oh, all right, that's the bro. And all these years later,
That's mad funny.
Bro,
I
he fucks
remember
with
the house though in Hackensack though.
oh shit.
By the gas station.
Yes, sir. Oh shit. Yo, my G. 211 Passaic Street. Niggas don't believe me when I tell my first apartment was a crack house.
I remember.
Wait, I'm trying to see
going in.
what gas station?
Because I don't remember Ayers Court. You was living on Ayers Court, or I met you there.
Ayers Court was before Hackensack. I moved to Hackensack after.
So I know you from Ayers Court.
Correct, because you was right there, and I used to walk back there with Raven and all of them. Wow. Wow.
That's a lot of shit I don't know about.
It wasn't no funny shit. Like
saying.
Nah, niggas just
Ayers Court is the park right down the way from you.
That was the cut where niggas used to be able to smoke.
Is where
I'm getting the mix.
Remember what Blockbuster used to be?
it's behind.
It's right behind Blockbuster. You know that apartment complex right there?
That goes right
there.
Oh,
so you know, bro was right there. Like
it's right there. You're right.
Hill Street.
And anybody that I fucked with when it was time, they was like, oh, yeah, we know where. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? And people that I fucked with was fucking with bro. We started to see each other.
That's normally how it is.
And that was it since then. But he ain't never get weird with me.
That's normally how it go.
You know, regular shit.
Shit.
And that's just it, bro.
You know what it is? Another great episode.
I can't come here though, bro, because we be talking about shit.
We will never go. It's another 3-hour episode. That's what
Yo, summertime conversation gonna be dangerous, bro.
Oh, that's gonna be lit.
You crazy?
That's gonna be dangerous.
I want to talk, and also when I come on your spot, I know you have your fellas there.
Hey, yo.
What? Well, now it's an AO?
Nah, now it's
an AO. I'm trying to be serious. No pauses all day. He was like,
no doubt.
I was talk to them.
Right, but go ahead.
Nah, I just want to say I want to chop it up with them. You know what I mean? Definitely, you know what I mean? Depends on, just tell me when, and we're going to make that shit happen.
For sure, bro.
We definitely going to make that happen.
Only thing I'm going to close out with is, again, like I say to everybody, everywhere, at this point in life, don't do shit to nobody you don't want done to you.
And with that said, it's another episode of the Unstoppable Almighty AWP Attention Horse Podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks to all my supporters. Thanks to all the people that don't support, because you're the reason why I do this shit.
For sure, with it. Peace.